final home game of 2021. Lewis and Clark getting set to take on the George Fox Bruins. Thanks for joining us. I am Ryan Goff as we are at Griswold Stadium, Fred Wilson Field on the beautiful Lewis and Clark College campus as the Pioneers take on the Bruins in the final Lewis and Clark home game. We'll get you the records 3-4 for the Lewis and Clark Pioneers. Overall 3-4, 2-3 in Northwest Conference play. Update these records. Meanwhile, the George Fox Bruins 4-3 and 4-1 in Northwest Conference play. The Pioneers 3-4 and 2-3 in Northwest Conference play. It is also Senior Day. In a few minutes, we will take you to the field for the presentation of 17 Lewis and Clark seniors who will get set to play their final regular season home game in Portland. And very excited to see what they can do against this George Fox team that last week had a chance to take down nationally ranked first place Linfield, lost on the road to the Wildcats 38-7. And so the Pioneers definitely have an opportunity to take down a really solid football program with the Bruins in their 8th season under head coach Chris Casey. The Pioneers in the 7th season with head coach Jay Losey, a former national champion, winning head coach, lost last week 42-19 at Pacific. Pioneers return home and have a chance to make their home record 3-1 this season. Lewis and Clark, it's going to be about momentum today. The Pioneers last week could not get the ball going down the field. Meanwhile, Pacific scored 4 touchdowns in the second quarter. And kind of in the middle of those 2 touchdowns, there was a key third down conversion. Pioneers get a stop there. Definitely would not have been the second quarter that the Boxers ended up having. But as a result, it was a tough game for the Pioneers last week. Can they get the momentum early today? As the wins that they've had this year, you look at the win against Whittier, definitely a momentum-based game. The Pioneers had 66 points in that win to open the season. And then against Willamette, got a big lead because of momentum. That helped them in a 2-point wagon wheel defense out in Salem. Pioneers on the field getting ready to run out behind the mascot Pio. Dog's name is Garner. And the Lewis and Clark flag is out as well.
Really, that record for Lewis and Clark is wrong. So it is 3-4, 2-3 for Lewis and Clark. 3-4 and 2-3.
DJ Pat runs the Pioneers onto the field, dressed in the home black uniforms. One of the best looking uniform combinations in the Northwest Conference. The black from head to toe with the matte black helmets, the number on the side in orange, and then the interlocking LNC logo on the side. Let's go to public address announcer Conan Lee for the presentation of the seniors today.
Before we meet our senior Pioneers, Lewis and Clark football is eager to recognize the seniors of George Fox Bruins for their accomplishment as NCAA Division III student athletes. Let's hear a big round of applause for the 26 Bruins seniors playing today. Now please turn your attention to the field as we recognize the Pioneers seniors. Before we introduce them, a quick note from the coaching staff about this group, which says, this group has done an incredible job of laying a strong foundation for our program. They have embodied our mission of being people of excellence. They have met the challenge of training through, doing school life, life through COVID, and have risen above it in every way. I'm extremely proud of this group and eager to follow their future successes. And speaking of our entire staff, I want to thank their families for their gifts of their sons. Now let's introduce the Lewis and Clark senior student athletes. Senior Ari Bleemer, a psychology major from Hayward, California. Ari is a defensive lineman who has competed in 21 games in his career. He has 31 solo tackles, 26 assisted tackles with 8 tackles for loss and 3.5 sacks. He's accompanied by his father, Georgia, and mother, Rosie, his sister, Patrice. Ari says, I'd like to thank the coaches and my teammates for standing by my side throughout this whole journey. I gave you my all, and I wish I could have done more for you. I hope all of you the best of your futures. Once again, a round of applause for Ari Bleemer. Senior David Seha. A physics major from Bakersfield, California, David is a defensive lineman who has competed in 22 games. He has career 32 solo tackles, 11 assisted tackles, and 10 tackles for loss, and 7 sacks. He's accompanied by his mother, Nellie Seha, and grandfather, Bob Shaw. David says, I just want to say thank you to all the coaches that have been part of my 4 years at LC, and to all the trainers for all their hard work. And I want to thank my grandma, Bob, for always being there for anything I need. Lastly, I want to thank my mom for being my everything through all my struggles. She's always been my rock. Couldn't be me without her. Once again, a round of applause for David Seha. Senior Cameron Chang. An economics major from Honolulu, Hawaii, Cameron is a defensive lineman who has competed in 32 games in his career with the Pioneers and was named the Northwest Conference Freshman of the Year in his first season, then All-Region in 2019. He has a career 62 solo tackles, 29 assisted tackles with 22 tackles for loss. He has 17 and a half sacks and 2 interceptions. Let's hear it for Cameron Chang. Senior Mercury Campagno. A physics major from Monterey, California, Mercury is an offensive lineman who's competed in 23 games in his career. Surprising Mercury today are his older sister, Raven Dixon, and his brother-in-law, Michael Dixon, his nephews, Orlando and Emmett, and his niece, Aviana. Of the Building Champions philosophy, Mercury says community and character most resonated with him over the years as a Lewis and Clark student athlete. Once again, let's hear it for Mercury Campagno. Senior Adrian Daffy, a double major in international affairs and psychology. From Berlin, Germany, Adrian is a tight end who's competed in 7 games in his debut season with the Pioneers. He has 2 receptions for 23 yards. He's accompanied today by Kelly and Garrett Montana. Adrian will be remembered for putting in extra work with his teammate and getting food after the practice and games. Once again, a round of applause for Adrian Daffy. Senior Josef Gonzalez. An economics major from San Carlos, California, Joseph is a defensive back who's competed in 15 games in his career with the Pioneers. He has career 8 solo tackles with 3 assisted tackles, 2 interceptions, including a 36-yard interception return for a TD this year. He's accompanied by his mother, Kisla, his father, Jose, and younger brother, Adrian. Joseph will be remembered for competition he had with his teammates every day at practice, at the volunteer events that the team went to that helped them connect with the community. Let's hear it for Joseph Gonzalez. Next up is Alex Hensley, a psychology major from Leander, Texas. Alex is a linebacker who's competed in 25 games in his career with the Pioneers. He has 81 solo tackles, 24 assisted tackles, and 19 tackles for loss. He has 5 sacks and 4 forced fumbles. He's accompanied today by his father, Rich, mother, Patricia, sisters, Nicole and Lily, and a brother, RJ, his grandmother, Nana Hensley, Uncle Dave, and cousin, Liam Daly. Alex says, I think about all the unforgettable memories and lifelong friendships I've made while being a part of the football team here at LC. Thank you to those who have always supported me. I've always and will forever be thankful for y'all. This is where the cowboy rides away. Once again, a round of applause for Alex Hensley. Senior Keegan Hawley, a rhetoric and media studies major from Sweet Home, Oregon. Keegan is a wide receiver who's competed in 13 games in his career with the Pioneers. He's made 4 receptions for 29 yards this season. He's accompanied today by his mother, Linda, father, Tim, and younger brother, Hudson. Keegan will remember the friendships he's made through the Lewis and Clark community, as well as all the leaders within the coaching staff and the classrooms and the lessons they taught him. A loud round of applause for Keegan Hawley. Senior Makana Laboy, a rhetoric and media studies major from Kailua, Hawaii. Makana is a defensive back. He's competed in 33 games in his career with the Pios, was named to the All-Northwest Conference second team as a sophomore. He has a career 106 solo tackles, 16 assisted tackles, and 6 tackles for loss, as well as 2 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 1 block, and 4 interceptions, including the 86-yard interception return this year. He's accompanied by his father, Scott, sister, Manina, cousin, Taylor Heen, roommate, Matt Saltman, and close family friends. The Neone family. Makana says, I want to thank my family and friends for raising and caring for the person I've become. To my coaches, trainers, and mentors, thank you for developing me into not only a football player I am today, but more importantly, the man I am today. Thank you, Pio Nation, and all the fans who have come out and supported the teams throughout my years here. My greatest memories from college are going to be hearing the roar of the crowd after a play. I will cherish these memories for the rest of my life. You have made the last couple of years the best years of my life. And finally, I want to thank all my teammates from the last 5 years. You will all be my brothers and family for life. Love you guys. Once again, let's hear it for Makana Laboy. Senior Nicholas Lang, a physics major from Palo Alto, California. Nicholas is a defensive lineman who's competed in 11 games in his career with the Pios. He has a career 12 solo tackles, 7 assisted tackles with 6 tackles for loss. He's added a forced fumble this season. He's accompanied today by Burton and Francois Lang. Nicholas says, I'm grateful to have all this opportunity. Would like to thank my parents, teammates, and coaches for always supporting. Let's hear it for Nicholas Lang. Senior Anakin Morris, an economics major from La Puente, California. Anakin is a defensive back who has competed in 25 games in his career with the Pios. He has a career 104 solo tackles, 29 assisted tackles, and 1.5 tackles for loss, 1 forced fumble, and 3 interceptions. He'll be accompanied today by John and Letty Mares. Anakin says he will remember most that learning is good, winning is the most important things, and actions over words and family. Once again, let's hear it for Anakin Mares. Senior Hayden Moses, a physics major from Hayward, California. Hayden is a kicker who has competed in 24 games in his career with the Pioneers. He made 1 field goal with a career 31 extra points. He's accompanied by his father, Matt, mother, Jackie, brother, Carson, and cousin, Evan Lizo. Hayden says, this has truly been one of the most memorable and treasured times of my life. I would like to thank my family, friends, and everyone in the program that makes athletics possible at Lewis and Clark. I am extremely grateful. Let's hear it for Hayden Moses. Senior Tanner Ono, an economics major from Honolulu, Hawaii. Tanner is a defensive back who has competed in 25 games in his career with the Pioneers. He has a career 47 solo tackles with 21 assisted tackles and 3 tackles for loss, 1 interception, and 1 sack. He's accompanied by his father, Steve, and mother, Cheryl. Tanner will remember the long nights studying, the hard work everyone put in on the field, the tough times and the resilience it took to overcome them, and the brotherhood we built. Once again, a round of applause for Tanner Ono. Next up is senior Evan Powers, a sociology and anthropology major from Honolulu, Hawaii. Evan is a running back who's competed in 21 games in his career with the Pioneers. He has 50 rushing attempts in his career, 207 rushing yards, and he's accompanied by his father, Bruce, mother, Denise Saki, Aunt Ann Saki Ellie, Uncle Fred Ellie, and Neil Hisaka. Evan says, to my mom and my dad, thank you so much for everything you do for me. Without you, I wouldn't be the man I am today. I'll always be grateful for the amount of time and money you put into my athletic and educational aspirations. Thank you both for believing in me as a student and a football player. I will always look at you both as role models in my life. I love you both so much, and I'm so happy you're here for this special game. To Auntie Ann and Uncle Fred, thank you for always flying up from Hawaii to come and watch me play. I'm so grateful for everything you do for me, and I'll always be proud to be your nephew. I love you both so much. Once again, let's hear it for Evan Powers. Senior Marvin Pusong Zita, a rhetoric and media studies major from San Francisco, California. Marvin is a linebacker who's competed in 13 games in his career with the Pioneers. He has a career 20 solo tackles with 4 assisted tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and 1 sack. Once again, a large round of applause for Marvin Pusong Zita. Senior Tyron Savongsa, a rhetoric and media study from Weed, California. Tyron is a quarterback who's competed in 5 games in his debut season with the Pioneers. He's made 20 completions for 255 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's accompanied by his father, Vaughn. Tyron says, cherishing the little things that I know I'll miss when I graduate. That includes team meetings, locker room, mini basketball, and just being around my teammates all the time. Brotherhood, family, this is what I expected at Lewis and Clark. I felt welcome and like I belong. Once again, let's hear it for Tyron Savongsa. Senior Aiden Verba Hamilton, a rhetoric and media studies major from San Francisco, California. Aiden is a wide receiver who's competed in 24 games in his career with the Pioneers. As a junior, he led the Northwest Conference in yards per reception at 22.4 yards per catch. Broke the school record with 331 yards receiving against Whitworth on October 12th. He has a career of 55 receptions for 1,066 yards and 11 touchdowns. He's accompanied by his mother, Danielle, his best friends, Natasha Gonzalez, Taylor McNeil, Keela Butler, and Xavier Thorpe. Aiden says, being a true student athlete at Lewis and Clark has built my character. It has taught me a lot about who I am and what my capabilities are. I really enjoyed being able to be close to my peers. Without my peers, I would not have finished here at Lewis and Clark. So once again, let's hear it for Aiden Verba Hamilton. There you go, fans. 17 seniors in their final game at Lewis and Clark. Let's hear it once again.
All right, so there you go. Those are the seniors for Lewis and Clark. The Pioneers are out on the field and getting set to take on the George Fox Bruins. 17 different seniors playing their final home game in a Lewis and Clark Pioneers uniform. That was really well done. I want to thank our entire Pios Stream crew, Lily Moffitt's directing today, and everyone working the cameras. Really impressive to be able to cover that before the game starts today. We'll have the national anthem during our break. When we come back to Griswold Stadium, it'll be the coin toss. So get ready for that. It's coming up next on Pios Stream.
if you can see it in my eyes. I made it. I made it here alive. I made it here alive. I made it. I made it. I made it. I ain't planning, I'm just doing what I can be. Yeah.
O'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
That is Miss Oregon, Abigail Hayes, with the playing of the Star Spangled Banner, the singing of the Star Spangled Banner before the game. Thank you for being with us on Pios Stream as we are about to go down to the field for the coin toss. George Fox and Lewis and Clark in the home finale of the 2021 Northwest Conference football season for Lewis and Clark and George Fox. The Pioneers have Mercury Campagno, Cameron Chang, McConnell LeBoy, and Anakin Mares, all seniors, 4 of the 17 announced before the game, getting set to walk to midfield to meet with the captains from George Fox. The referee today in this contest is Thomas Fischera. Pioneers opened up with the right to the football. Last week, they lost to Pacific 42-19 and fumbled on the opening kickoff. So the Pioneers, if they get the chance to the football at the beginning of this game, will look to set a better tone than they did a week ago.
George Fox has won the toss and has deferred. Lewis and Clark will receive.
So the Pioneers do get the football first. George Fox won the toss and deferred. And we'll get a chance to see Lewis and Clark's offense on the field to begin the game, trying to get their record even at 4-4 and match their win total from their last season, 2019, when they went 4-5 on the year. Their most wins Lewis and Clark had since 2011. It's been a year of some more milestones. First time the Pioneers have defended the wagon wheel 4 straight years against Willamette. 1989 to 92 was the last stretch. So a lot of opportunity to finish the year with a pretty big statement this season. Jonathan Newsom and Desmond Holton go back for the Pioneers to return the kick this season for George Fox. Jason Santoni has handled the kickoff duties and is averaging about 60 yards per kickoff, 7 touchbacks this season. Watch for Holton, an impressive returner, freshman season out of Queen Creek, Arizona, has a kickoff return TD this year. Right to left, all white George Fox with the blue mat helmets. Lewis and Clark, black unis, head to toe. The kickoff angles toward Holton from the 5. Far side, untouched, past the 20. Ball came free again. It went right to Keegan Hawley. The Pioneers nearly fumbled on the opening kickoff again. Instead, Cruz Montana and the Lewis and Clark offense will start from its own 27-yard line, thanks to another senior, Keegan Hawley, recovering the fumble. 14:53 just underway in the first quarter. Head coach Jay Losey in his 7th season and 3rd year on the staff, second calling the plays. Joe Bushman, the assistant head coach and offensive coordinator, go with 5 wide receivers to start the game. Ball placed favoring the left side hash mark. 3 receivers right, 1 pair of receivers to the left. Quarterback keeper Cruz Montana sneaks through the front of the line. Is brought down by Cameron Bennett. Gain of 3 up front for Lewis and Clark. The senior Mercury Campagno the most experienced Lewis and Clark offensive lineman coming into this year, and the rest of the line as inexperienced as it's been. They've played really well this year, opening up holes. 2nd down and 7. Play action, throw to the screen, right side. Jonathan Newsom, stiff arm, able to get free from Wyatt Adams and gain additional yards up to the 32-yard line. It's a gain of 2. Matt Casson is the junior left guard. Michael Lloyd, the freshman center. Nathan Lean is at right guard, and Alex Sandoval, 6'5", 320. On the right side tackle position. They have been intact all year long. Very healthy so far for this Lewis and Clark offensive line. 3rd and 4 from the Pioneers' 33-yard line. Throw over the top, Montana, and incomplete, intended for Noah Hobbs. All right, 11:45 to go in the opening quarter. George Fox 0, Lewis and Clark 0. This is the first George Fox drive. A 2nd and 11 at the Lewis and Clark 25-yard line. The quarterback is Hayden Shaw. Throws to the right side, screenplay, and off the right hand of Ethan Casaubon. The intended receiver, the running back, senior season. Averaging 4.7 yards per carry, has 4 touchdowns. It's made 11 receptions. That one too far out of his reach. And brings up 3rd down. Hayden Shawn out of Medford, Oregon, Cascade Christian High School, 6'1", 212-pound senior. 61% completion percentage this year. Has thrown 9 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. 3rd down and 11. 11:25 to play. Opening quarter. 2 receivers to the right. Near side receiver is Adam Hawker, a senior, 6'3". 4-man rush from Lewis and Clark. Sean flushed right through the ball up in the air, headed toward the out-of-bounds area, line of scrimmage. Marvin Pusung Zito was pressuring Sean back at the 38-yard line. Incomplete pass is the ruling and brings up 4th down. So they bring out Santoni, the place kicker. A 32-yard line spot for the holder, Aaron Boye. A 42-yard attempt. Boye the holder. Timeout taken by George Fox before the snap. Stops the clock with 11:18 to play. Opening quarter 0-0 game. The longest field goal this year for Santoni is a 41-yarder. In fact, Santoni's been great from 40 to 49, making 3 of 4 tries this year. Pioneers, black helmets, orange numbers, the orange and white shoulders. Senior day, a lot of seniors starting for Lewis and Clark defensively. The entire defensive line made up of seniors. Cameron Chang and Nico Lang are the defensive ends. David Seha and Ari Bleemer, the interior defensive lineman. Right now, a special teams situation. From the left hash, a 42-yard field goal attempt for the first points of the game from George Fox. Off the right leg of Santoni, up and through. That was a beautiful looking kick and a 3-0 lead for George Fox. We're just underway. We'll come back with more. 11:13 to play. Opening quarter, 3-0. Bruins on Pios Street. Ball fell off the tee. Ball fell off the tee before the kickoff for George Fox. Bruins lead 3-0 on a 42-yard field goal by Santoni. 11:13 to play, first quarter. Weather forecast calling for rain, but the worst of the rain is supposedly have passed. It was about 2 hours before kickoff. There was a pretty short-lived but thorough rain/hailstorm that came through. So the field is certainly wet. The kickoff right to left, angled over toward Newsom and out of bounds. It's a touchback. Pioneers start from the 25-yard line for Lewis and Clark's second possession. Can the Pioneers get going early against George Fox a couple of years ago? Last time these two teams met, Bruins won 42-7. Average field position was a big deal in that game. Pioneers' average starting spot was the 20 on their half, whereas George Fox was up throwing 42. 4 receivers and a running back, Elijah McGee from Montana. Snap from the 25. Option run. Montana goes right, keeps it, and the quarterback up to the 30-yard line for Lewis and Clark. Tackles made by Keegan Sean. Gain of 6 for Montana. Near side receivers Jonathan Newsom split out. In the slot is Brendan Hobbs. Throw left side Montana out to Sean Bodai, has the catch on the run out of bounds past the 40-yard line. Up to the 42, a pickup of 11 on second down. Lewis and Clark moves the chains. Tackle made for George Fox by Cross Knoll. Spinning. Elijah McGee is spun down, gain of about 4. Up front, it's Aaron Valenzuela, Jaron Marks, and Cameron Bennett for George Fox. Second down and 6 from the Lewis and Clark 46. Right hash mark screen play. Hobbs catches it up at the chest, is immediately struck down by Justin Montijo. No gain, and it brings up second and now third and long. Bodai has had a good year, sophomore season at the Lions. Oregon split to the top of the screen. Then Isaac Cordova is in the slot that direction. Cordova's in his sophomore season from Los Angeles, 12 receptions this year. Pioneers, third down and 6. Four-man rush on a stunt. Montana aims right, looks for Hobbs, and into double coverage, incomplete at the George Fox 30. Lucas Schwinn and Montijo down on the other end of the field in coverage. Fourth down. Out comes Huxley Richardson to punt. Last home game, Pioneers defeated Puget Sound 46-29, punted just once in that game. They had a bad snap that was on another punt attempt. Last week against Pacific, kicked it away 8 times for 41 yards per kick. The defender in his face, Richardson angles to the far side and out of bounds around the 20-yard line, marked out officially at the 16. 38-yard kick for Huxley Richardson in his freshman season. Richardson has been the primary punter for Lewis and Clark out of Fayetteville, Arkansas. Sophomore season, first competing, and with 9:14 to go in the first quarter, George Fox has the ball back with a 3-0 lead. Drive starts from the George Fox 16. Running back Josiah Schmidt, senior from Sparks, Nevada. With an extra tight end on the short side of the field. Handoff to Schmidt. Immediately grabbed and chased down. Marvin Pusung Zita, the senior, the tackle for loss. That's Marvin's 3rd TFL this year. Drops the Bruins back to the 14-yard line, a loss of 2. Up front, it's Zach Luwaro at the right tackle spot with Brent Schuler at the right guard. Left side tackle is Daniel Jeffries. And Jarris Jackson is the left guard. Second down and 12. Sean in shotgun. Throws out to Cassibom. 10-yard line, works to the numbers far side, squeezes through a block out on the perimeter and gains extra yardage. Nice block by River Osen to spring Cassibom for more yardage, gets it up to the 23-yard line. Gain of 9, sets up 3rd and short. The center, Caitlin Akayu, 5th season out of Honolulu, snapping the ball to Sean. 2 receivers near side, Osen inside of Hawker. 1 receiver split out to the right on 3rd down and 4. Handoff, Cassibom tries right side, grabbed onto from the right hip, can't get away. Tanner Ono came up to help, but it was Justin Hope who had the initial play. Cassibom able to carry the defenders for extra yardage and get past the 25-yard line to the 27 and a first down. Great play by Cassibom, the senior running back. Initial look was to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Instead, gets the first down. And now Schmidt comes in instead in the backfield. 1st and 10, George Fox leading 3-0 midway point of the first quarter. Right to left, 1st and 10 from the 32. or from the 27, excuse me. Throw, screen play, caught by Hawker behind the screen, works to the outside. Nice block by Leon Johnson III, and pushed him to the Lewis and Clark sideline after a gain of 13. First down, George Fox. 3-0 Bruins lead on a 42-yard field goal by Jason Santoni. Up front, Pioneers bring in Ramson Paz. To the right side of Bleemer in the interior of the defensive line. Pusung Zita and Chang are the ends. Linebackers are Alex Hensley, Sam Meinhard, and Hope, 4 defensive backs in the games for the Pios. Motion. Right to left, Kassebaum on the sweep play to the right side, gets on the edge. And more positive yardage for the Bruins, this time a pickup of 9. Pioneers shift the defensive front, bring in Nico Lang, and then add an extra linebacker. Jake Bushman's back in. Bushman in his junior season out of Happy Valley, Oregon. A 2nd down and 1 approaching midfield for George Fox. Second possession of the game for the Bruins. Bruins are 4-3. Pioneers are 3-4 on the year. Schmidt, the running back. Kassebaum motions again, handoff. Faked throw, Kassebaum caught, open field near side. Dodges a tackler, grabbed onto by Ono. The Lewis and Clark 40-yard line and into the Pioneers side of the field. 38-yard line marked out, a gain of 13. Big plays for George Fox on this drive. 5:52 to go in the first quarter, 3-0 George Fox. 5th best scoring offense in the Northwest Conference, 7th in total yards. Left hash mark, 1st and 10 from Lewis and Clark's 38-yard line. 2 receivers up top, 1 to the bottom. Tight end on the right, handoff, Kassebaum. Goes right side, and Hensley runs up, makes the play, out by the numbers, gain of just 1. Hensley, the linebacker, makes the play for Lewis and Clark. Ian Johnson's the tight end out of Alaska, 6'1", 221. He's the extra person on the end of the line right. Hawker comes out of the game for the George Fox 2nd down and 9. Trio of receivers, triangle pattern right side, short side of the field. Chad Bletko is the leader of the top of that triangle. Throw goes the opposite side, one-on-one. Johnson the third, stiff arm on Anakin Mares. Couldn't fully get away, and Mares takes him down near the 19-yard line. That's where it spotted a gain of 18 and a George Fox 1st down. Anakin Mares, senior defensive back, playing the corner spot. The other side, it's senior Joseph Gonzalez, senior from San Carlos, California, with 2 picks this year. Tanner Ono and McConnell LeBoy, senior safeties. 1st and 10. George Fox with a 3-0 lead. 4:24 to play first quarter from the Pioneers 19. Snap, Sean throws left. Caught, another screen play. This one Schmidt cuts inside of the numbers and stacked up a wall of Pios. But not until a gain of about 5 down to the 14-yard line. The screen's working so far for George Fox. 10th play of the drive upcoming. And the second possession for the Bruins. Johnson the third to the right side. Kassebaum is the tailback. 3 receivers left, short side of the field. 2nd down and 4. Pioneers bring 6. Ball popped free from Sean. Got it back. Hope's on his jersey. Breaks away from that and then hit by Hensley near the 20. 19-yard line officially marked down. Back to the original line of scrimmage. A big 3rd and 10 now for the Pioneers defense. They stalled George Fox on the Bruins opening drive. And George Fox had to settle for a 42-yard field goal attempt. Third and 10. Pios rush 4. Sean over the middle, end zone, too high and incomplete. Johnson, the third, working with Gonzalez, brings up 4th down. And back out, Jason Santoni. These two teams have a pair of field goal kickers. They're among the best in the Northwest Conference. A 36-yard attempt for Santoni. 6 of 8 on the year, successful, including 1 in this game. Placement, kick, and this one's through as well. 6-0 lead for George Fox. A lot of big plays, a sustained drive into the double digits of snaps, but it's just a 6-0 lead on the field goal. With 2:45 to go in the first quarter, Lewis and Clark has the ball when we return. From Portland, Oregon, this is Pios Stream. Back in Portland, a 36-yard field goal gives George Fox a 6-0 lead. 12-play, 65-yard drive. 6:29 off the clock, and the field goal is good from 36 yards out. So far, George Fox outgaining the Pioneers 89 yards to 21. Third kickoff by the Bruins, fielded right at the goal line. Holton has it through the middle. Ran into a stack and held up just shy of the 25-yard line. Pioneers not great starting field position for the third drive of the game. Down 6-0 with 2:39 to play in the opening quarter. Cruz Montana is a junior quarterback, 6'2", 195 out of Eureka, California. Came in completing 53% of his passes. 1,300 yards, 12 touchdowns, 4 interceptions this year. Montana on the field with Elijah McGee, who's now started the last 3 games at tailback. Pioneers have been thin to begin with this year at running back. And then when Deontay Navarrete got injured for the rest of the year, Elijah McGee's been the primary focus. Blitz by the Bruins, picked up by the Pios. Throw left side, Bodie adjustment at midfield, can't bring it in. Had Chris McCoy in the coverage. Elijah McGee, junior season out of Bremerton, Washington, 5.1 yards per carry. He's hauled in 23 passes as well as the team's leading receiver. Was held in check last week in Pacific, and the Pioneers get him going on the home field again. Draw play. McGee leads the way. Montana initially was wrapped up. Joe James, the linebacker, makes the stop after a gain of about 3. McGee did a good job lead blocking, but James able to make the stop from behind the play. 3rd down and 6. Pioneers on the year, 33% on 3rd down. 5th best in the conference. Have to get past Pioneers 33. McGee to the right hip of Montana. 4 receivers, 2 to either side. McGee handoff left side. Tries to get around Campagno, can't. And it's brought down after a gain of 2. Anthony Passion leads the way, and Pioneers go 3 and out on their 3rd possession of the game. Minute 47 remaining in the opening quarter. Pioneers trail 6-0. Richardson averages about 35 yards per kick. High snap, Richardson brings it down. Line drive, punt, angled toward the far side, bounces and spins. We'll get around the 33-yard line in the Lewis and Clark half. Down there, with a minute 19 remaining. At a 38-yard kick for Richardson. George Fox, a pair of field goals so far, 42-yarder and a 36-yarder. 3rd possession for the Bruins starts from George Fox 33-yard line. Immediately calling for the ball is Sean, the quarterback. Snap, handoff Schmidt, left side. weaves back toward the interior of the field and gains about 3. Congratulations to Lewis and Clark women's soccer team. A 3-0 win on the road at Willamette. All 3 of the goals in the second half. And I suspect that you have an all-time goals leader in Lewis and Clark women's soccer history. Nope, not today. Slush Rifles did not score one of those 3 goals. Second down and 7. Ball in between the hash marks. Play action, throw, caught Hawker. Mares immediately pops the receiver to the 46-yard line. A pickup of 10 and a first down with 30 seconds remaining first quarter. George Fox 6, Lewis and Clark nothing. Maddie Pastores, Brecklin Bigley, and Alexa Myers had the goals for Lewis and Clark in that 3-0 win at Willamette. So right now, Rifles is tied for the all-time goals in the season record for the Pioneers. We'll try to break it in the finale tomorrow, Senior Day, at Griswold Stadium in Portland, where we're today at 11 a.m. on Sunday. First and 10, George Fox. Bruins 46-yard line. Handoff, Schmidt. Untouched across midfield, across the Lewis and Clark logo. And to the 48 of Lewis and Clark's half. And that's the end of the first quarter.
First quarter.
End of the first quarter from Portland's Griswold Stadium. Fred Wilson Field, George Fox Bruins 6. Lewis and Clark Pioneers nothing on Pios Street.
Hi, I'm Nick Lombardi. Something I've learned at Winterim this year is how to communicate a vision.
My biggest takeaway from Winterim is probably the networking. Getting to talk to everybody, connect with people for the future is one of the most valuable things, and I did Winterim last year, came back for more this year.
I think a way in which my liberal arts education has really helped me and my group formulate our ideas is that concept of critical thinking and having many different backgrounds. Me being an econ major and my 2 group mates being chemistry majors, we really get that well-rounded background, well-rounded ideas.
I think overall it's absolutely worth doing. You find yourself not only being more prepared for, say, this next semester, on top of
6-0 lead, start of the second quarter. George Fox on top of Lewis and Clark. Bruins into Lewis and Clark territory for the 3rd time in 3 drives. It's second down and 4 from the Pioneers' 48-yard line. The quarterback is Hayden Shaw. Has Ethan Casaubon behind him as the tailback. Snap, Sean, quick throw near side, caught Johnson the 3rd. That's taken out by Hope, the Pioneers linebacker, at the 40-yard line, a gain of 8, first down. Yardage favors George Fox so far. The Bruins have moved the ball, and it's on their first 2 possessions. So far, total yards around 91 to 30. 2 field goals by Jason Santoni, the difference so far. Slot receiver left side, Bletko the tight end. Near side receiver is Casaubon. The quarterback has the running back, Schmidt, to his left. Casaubon in motion. Goes to the left side. And around. And Ono able to stall Casaubon's momentum out of bounds near the Lewis and Clark 33-yard line. Gain of 7 on first down by Casaubon. Averages about 4.7 yards per carry. And good on the catch, too, 13.2 yards per reception and 2 touchdowns this year for the George Fox senior running back. Breaks the huddle, goes left. Tight in that direction is Johnson. Johnson the 3rd, the receiver split out to the bottom of the formation. 8 on the play clock, second down and short for George Fox. Double fake, now throw right, Casaubon caught, 30-yard line, first down and out of bounds. Ono takes him out near the 25. A lot of stretching the field so far by George Fox. They're going left to right, and they've had the ball a good amount of time. The Pioneers' last drive ended on a 3 and out. 13:35 to go, second quarter. George Fox has a 6-0 lead. Schmidt stays in as the tailback. Pioneers have Seha and Bleemer, the interior defensive line. Chang and Lang are the ends up on the line. Hensley and Hope, the linebackers. Pios bring everyone in the pocket. Sean steps up, big right hand to Seha, couldn't bring him down, escapes to the right. Sean up the sideline, spins out of bounds in front of Gonzalez with a penalty marker down. At the very end of the play where Bleemer was, Bleemer a little hobbled getting up. Referee Thomas Fischera. First penalty marker of the game. George Fox very good avoiding penalties. One of the best in the conference, if not the best.
Personal foul. Illegal blindside block, number 71 in the offense. It's a 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, first down.
It's an illegal block against George Fox. They are first in the conference in fewest penalty yards per game, least penalty yards per game, 46, top 50 in the nation. That's a big one. Sends George Fox backward for one of the first times in this game. 13 minutes to play in the second quarter. George Fox 6, Lewis and Clark nothing. Talked about field position, a big factor the last time these two teams met back in November of 2019. Rushing yards is a big deal too. The Pioneers held George Fox to 70 less than the Bruins average. Lewis and Clark only had 63 of its own. George Fox scored the first 21 points in that game back in Newburgh, home of George Fox University. 1st and 25 from the 40. George Fox with the ball, 3 receivers right, 1 to the left is Johnson the third. Pump, throw, deep ball left, and almost one-armed in by Johnson the third. Incomplete. Mares in coverage at the 20. Sets up 2nd and 25 for the Bruins. When they go the 3 receivers on the one side of the field, kind of in that triangle formation, consists a lot of the tight ends. Some of the bigger personnel from a receiver standpoint with Bletko at 273. Now they go back to Hawker, left side. First time in the slot is Elias Polonsky. 2 receivers right, 2nd and long. Sean steps up, throws down the field and incomplete. Back shoulder throw attempt aimed at Dylan Dobbins. Junior out of Palmdale, California, incomplete, sends up 3rd and long. Dobbins 4 receptions this year. George Fox does have a 3rd and 10 conversion in this game. This is a 3rd and 25. 3 receivers left, including Dobbins. Johnson the third lined up across from Gonzalez on the right side. Running back is Casabon. Quick snap, gets away from Sean. All the way back on the other side, falling down at the Lewis and Clark 38. Huge loss for George Fox. The Bruins have to punt. Back to the Lewis and Clark 39, the punter Santoni. Averages 39 per kick. Sends it away. McGee backpedals, has it. Between the hash marks, breaks a tackle. Cuts around the left side. Just runs out of running room. Had broke about 2 tackles and is pushed back. Ball spotted around the 19-yard line for Lewis and Clark. Drive number 4 coming up for the Pios. One of the worst starting field positions, if not the worst starting field position for Lewis and Clark. 6-0 deficit facing the Pioneers. They're on the home field, Senior Day 2021. Can the Pioneers build some momentum? They go back to the 5-wide look, which they opened the very first snap of the game with. Snap to Montana, throw. Pumped it rather, keeps it through the middle. And a good gain on first down, Montana, able to pick up about 7. McGee shifts to the quarterback spot. Holton's on the near side with Cordova, the receivers. Far side, Ben Burnham's in the game, sophomore out of Burbank, California. And so's Devin Guest for the first time, Phoenix Junior. Movement. Valenzuela came across and pushed down Sandoval.
False start. Offense, number 55. 5-yard penalty, second down.
False start on Lewis and Clark. Now sets up a 2nd down and 8. That's a big penalty because the Pioneers have not been working out of shorter 2nd down situations. They go back with 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, snap to Montana. Handoff, McGee gets around the left corner, has a defender on his shoulder, and is brought down by Grayson Ponce, who had the initial grab. McGee able to get some breathing room, picked up 4. Up to the 25-yard line, sets up a 3rd and 4. Same personnel grouping. They shift Cordova to balance the receivers, 2 to either side. From the left hash mark, McGee out of the backfield. Throwback to the near side. Caught by Holton. Good space. 1st down. And to the 35-yard line. Holton picks up 10. The Pioneers get their first down of the game. Marked officially at the 36. Pioneers trailing 6-0 with the ball. Right to left in black. Cordova in motion. Play action. Montana throws over the top. Cordova has it. Sets his feet. Works to the right side. Stiff arm. And to the 39, a gain of 3. Stiff arm set on Wyatt Adams by Cordova. Officially a gain of 2. Montana snap from the right hash mark. Play action McGee. Throw. Caught. It's Burnham. Into George Fox territory. Burnham has the ball to the 45-yard line. 17-yard gain. Pioneers go to tempo. Burnham caught his first touchdown pass last week at Pacific. 3 receivers near side. One's Burnham. QB draw. Montana tucks the shoulders down and is across the 40 and down to the George Fox 36. Ducked under the big hit from Ponce, a gain of 9. 6-0 deficit facing Lewis and Clark. 9:30 to play, 2nd quarter. Right to left, the Pioneers. 2 first downs on this drive. Newsom, Cordova, their targets to the bottom. Top is Guest and Burnham. Running back McGee. 3-man rush. Here comes the linebacker. Throw left side. McGee bobbled it, hauls it in, trips down, and lunges forward to the 34. 1st down, Lewis and Clark, a gain of 2. Third down of the drive. Carter Baggs is into the game. Freshman. Right side now shifts to the left, of Montana. Bunched receivers to the top. 4-man rush. Montana side pedals. Can't get away. Spins away now. And out of bounds. Shy of the original line of scrimmage. Good pressure back by Passion. Bennett met him near the 36-yard line, and Montana went out of bounds. McGee's back in at running back for Lewis and Clark. That's one of the first negative plays on this possession for Lewis and Clark. 2nd down and 12. Montana in the pocket. Pumps. Rolls left. Tucks it to the 30. And to the 25. Steps out about the 24-yard line. Big run by Montana. In fact, might have picked up the 1st down. That extra yard does it. 1st down, Lewis and Clark. Cruz Montana, the quarterback. Looks like he did against Willamette when he ran for a career-high 16 attempts. 1st down, Pios, 8:12 to play. Opening half, 6-0 deficit. Marcelo Lopez, the tight end, to the right side for Lewis and Clark. 3 receivers and the running back, McGee. 10 to snap, 1st and 10 from the Fox 24. McGee through the middle, cuts inside of Lloyd, and is stacked up positive yardage by James. Down to the 22. Pioneers 3 yards on 1st down by Elijah McGee. So our last 2 games at tailback against Puget Sound in the last home game averaged 7.1 yards per carry. And a 33-yard run and a touchdown, and also brought in 8 passes in that game. 2nd down and 8. Gain of 2 on 1st down. Play action. Montana throws to Lopez. Big tight ends. Bumped out of bounds near the 11. the 16-yard line. 2 yards shy of a first down. Lopez's 4th reception of the year. Pioneers bringing an extra tight end, Aaron Krause, to the right side. Fullback Logan Herman is in the game. And Adrian Daffy's the receiver to the left side. Pioneers have McGee at the tailback. 3rd and 2 from the George Fox 16. 3 tight ends and a fullback in the game for the Pios. Montana under center. Pitch to McGee. Left side. Hit at the line to gain and driven back. He's short. Josh Poppleton made the play. Gain of 1. Lewis and Clark 4th and 1. Pioneers have gone for it on 4th down 14 times this season. They've converted 6. 4th and 1. Flip the formation. Krause to the right side, tight ends. Lopez on the left. Daffy split out right. Montana under center. Snap. Quarterback keeper. First down, Pios. Montana for a gain of 2. Lewis and Clark with 6:09 to play in the second quarter, trailing 6-0 with the ball. 1st and 10. The George Fox 13-yard line. Guest and Cordova to the right side of the formation. Newsom on the bottom. First down snap. McGee. Handoff. Cuts inside. Stumbling to the goal line. Touchdown, Lewis and Clark. A 13-yard touchdown run for Elijah McGee. His 2nd running touchdown of the year, and the Pioneers tie the game. Out for the PAT. Cordova the hold. The snap is bobbled. Cordova picks it up, rolls to the left side, looks to the pylon, had it pop free, and George Fox falls on it at the 4-yard line. The game is tied at 6 apiece. Pioneers drive goes 14 plays, 81 yards. And Lewis and Clark ties the game with 5:49 to go, second quarter. 6-6 in the home finale on Pios Street. Lewis and Clark, 14 plays, 81 yards, and 5:59 off the second quarter clock. Pioneers score the first touchdown of the game. And it's 6-6 between Lewis and Clark and the George Fox Bruins. Bruins a 47-yard and 36-yard field goal by Santoni. I thought it was a 42-yarder, so probably 42 and 37 for Santoni. 5:49 to play in the first half, tied at 6 apiece. Hayden Moses, the senior kicker, to send it away. Angles it toward the far side. A short kick bounced and brought in. 20-yard line, left side, cut back on the hash marks, reverses field. On the run, Schmidt to the Lewis and Clark side. Gets away, up the sideline, touchdown George Fox. A return of over 80 yards. They officially mark it as an 85-yard return, and George Fox answers right back on special teams. Santoni for the PAT, but a whistle blows before the snap.
Officials timeout. Please reset the game clock to 25 seconds. Excuse me, reset the play clock to 25 seconds.
Santonio on the year. It's been great kicking field goals. Came into today 5 of 7. Has made both attempts today. The PAT is good. Oh, excuse me. It's no good. It's no good. An 85-yard kickoff return by Schmidt. PAT no good. We'll be back in a moment on Pios Street. (12-6). George Fox leads. You'd hope to see the momentum maybe swing Lewis and Clark's way in the tail end of this first half instead after the touchdown drive by the Pios, an 85-yard kickoff return TD for Schmidt. So the Pioneers now trail by 6 again. Jonathan Newsom has it, working from the right side outside the numbers. And is stacked up, twisted out of bounds. Looks like James might have been the one to take him out. So Lewis and Clark goes back to work, trailing by 6 yet again. 85-yard kickoff return by Schmidt. After Lewis and Clark put together a 14-play, 81-yard touchdown drive. It's capped off on a McGee 13-yard run. McGee's back out. Pioneers start with the football. Their own 25-yard line. 5:29 to go, second quarter, trailing 12-6. Keegan Hawley, the middle of 3 receivers left. First down snap, screen play. Out to McGee, patient behind the blocker, spun out of 1 tackle, and then drags defenders up the sideline. Is able to gain a couple additional yards, twisted out by Keegan Shaw. Gain of 4 for Lewis and Clark. Pair of receivers either side. Montana on second down. Sets the feet, tries to get away, throws the ball, has Bodie open at the 35, up the near sideline, 40, spins midfield and out of bounds. That was one of those plays that you had hoped Montana would just eat it. Montana was in the clutch of one of the George Fox defenders, and instead Montana makes a play to the 50-yard line, first down. 4-man rush on second down. Lob play. Hobbs tipped off his hands and intercepted. Taken away and tackled on the interception by Adams. McGee made the tackle. Hobbs had it hit off of his hands, and it was picked off. Second interception by Adams this year. And before this drive started for Lewis and Clark, I referenced momentum. And now that is in the favor of the Bruins, leading 12-6 with 4:37 to go, second quarter. Casabaum's the running back, handoff from Sean. Cuts inside of Pusung Zita. Meinhardt has him wrapped up. Casabaum carries for an additional 2 or 3 yards down to the 31, a pickup of 7 on first down. Paz and DJ Smith are the interior defensive linemen for Lewis and Clark. 4-man front for Lewis and Clark. Jordan Fajardo, Meinhardt, and Hope are the linebackers. Fajardo, a sophomore out of Carson, California, on the near side, works the line of scrimmage, 2nd and 3. George Fox. Handoff, Casabaum, right side. LeBoy meets him near the 25, and Casabaum down to the 21 for a gain of 10. George Fox leads 12-6. This possession starting off the interception following a kickoff return TD for the Bruins. Jaden Bullable on the left side of the formation in the slot. Handoff through the middle. And a little bit of running room down to the 19, a gain of 2 for George Fox. Kassabaum had the carry. Pioneers had a chance to take the lead on a touchdown. PAT snap was bad. Cordova did the best he could. Lost the ball short of the goal line. So it became 6-6 on the ensuing kickoff. Josiah Schmidt, 85-yard kickoff return TD. Slot receiver left side is Osen. Hawker split out to the left near side. Bola Bull is the target on the near side. Sean, defender in his face, screen pass. Kassabaum has it, cuts inside on the numbers, works back out to the near sideline. Tackled by Ono and Mares, but Kassabaum has the ball. The Lewis and Clark 9-yard line, first and goal for George Fox. 12-6, Bruins lead with the ball. Driving on the Lewis and Clark Pioneers. Sun peeking out of the clouds at Griswold Stadium. It's a cooler day in the high 40s. 2 receivers left. Running back is Schmidt. Tied into the right side of the formation, Bletko. Snap. Handoff Schmidt, right side. Around the corner, cuts back inside, gains about 3. Bushman makes the tackle. Pusung Zita in pursuit as well. Officially marked down at the 5, second and goal from the 5-yard line. Extra defensive lineman in for the Pioneers, Bleemer and Paz. With Chang and Pusung Zita at the ends. Second and goal from the 5-yard line for George Fox. Schmidt is the running back. Snap to Sean, handoff Schmidt, open space left side all the way in. And he scores the George Fox touchdown. Schmidt, second rushing TD of the year, second touchdown overall in this game. And off the interception, George Fox has the first 2-score lead, 18-6. Santoni on for the PAT, missed the last one. Low snap. The kick is up and through. Montijo had a nice save on the bad snap. Kick is up and through. It's 19-6, George Fox. A pair of field goals by Santoni. And then after Lewis and Clark stopped George Fox for the first time defensively, Pioneers put together a 14-play, 81-yard touchdown drive. Got a 13-yard run by Elijah McGee for a score. PAT was no good because of a bad snap. It was unsuccessful. Game was tied at 6, and since George Fox has had an 85-yard kickoff return touchdown and a 5-yard rushing touchdown by Schmidt. That's in a 4-minute span. Pioneers outgained so far, 149 to 141. Santoni to kick off left to right. Newsom gets under it, had the last return, starts this one from the 6. Far side hash marks all the way through, 30-yard line. Penalty marker out late, marked down at the 34-yard line. Penalty thrown from in front of the play. Newsom, one of the seniors. Excuse me, Newsom, not one of the seniors. Verba Hamilton not playing so far today. One of the seniors honored before the game.
During the return, holding, number 50. 10-yard foul from the spot of the foul.
So a holding call against Lewis and Clark. Penalty for the first time on the Pioneers. But that makes it difficult on the best starting field position Lewis and Clark would have had up to this point. Instead, Pioneers push back near the 21-yard line. 1:34 to go. Lewis and Clark has 3 timeouts. George Fox leading 19-6. Pioneers interception on the last possession. Snap to Montana, play action to McGee, throws over the middle, and it's too high, intended for Cordova. Leap and grab unsuccessful at the 40. Montana has 12 touchdowns this year and 4 interceptions coming into today through his 5th. On the tipped ball off Hobbs' hands to Wyatt Adams, his 2nd interception for George Fox this year. 2nd and 10. 5 receiver set, empty backfield. Montana hit as he throws. McGee, diving grab, has it at the 44. And McGee falls down after making the catch. He had popped up, signaled first down, and then started walking back toward the huddle. It just landed to the ground. He kind of fell like his right leg was bothering him, but not sure. To be specific, head athletic trainer Jeremy Lowe is out to attend on Elijah McGee after the 23-yard gain on first down. Excuse me, on 2nd down. Minute 25 left to go in the 2nd quarter. Lewis and Clark trails 19-6. First women's basketball game of 2021 happened earlier today. Pioneers competing at Northwest, one of the NAIA schools on Lewis and Clark's schedule. Pioneers fall 69-61 in that one. McGee's up to his feet. Walks to the Lewis and Clark sideline. Pioneers 16 points from Eva Richards, 10 from Charlotte Carroll, both in their first counting collegiate basketball game for the women's basketball program. Earlier today, too, Linfield hosted Lewis and Clark in the first Northwest Conference dual swimming meet. Tonight at 6 o'clock, Lewis and Clark ends the volleyball season at Whitman. 19-6, George Fox leads. Lewis and Clark. Baggs is the running back in for McGee. Minute 21 left in the 2nd quarter. First down, throw. Bodine has it. Hauls it in at the George Fox 43. Pickup of 13 and a first down in front of Abe Smith, the 5th-year defensive back. Had both safeties over there with Sean as the other. Pioneers have 3 timeouts, minute 11 remaining. Pioneers have McGee on the training table. Looked to be just talking to McGee. Maybe messing around with his neck a touch. 3 receivers right, 1 to the left is Bodine, who just had the last reception. 1st and 10, George Fox 43, Lewis and Clark throwing. Crossing route, Burnham at the 35, has it driven back. After about 8 yards, tackle was made by Knoll. 8-yard gain, Pioneers moving the football. Timeout taken, Lewis and Clark. It's the first timeout taken by the Pios. They have 2 remaining with a minute 5 left. The opening quarter, or opening half, excuse me. 19-6. George Fox leads. Pioneers opened up the year at Griswold Stadium, their first game since November 2019, and put up 66 points and a 66-14 win over Whittier. That's the 3rd most points in Lewis and Clark history. That was after the opening game of the year at Claremont Mudscripts. Pioneers lost 34-10. Then after back-to-back losses at Whitworth and home against Pacific Lutheran, Lewis and Clark won 2 straight games. At Willamette and home against Puget Sound for homecoming. So the Pioneers come into today 3-4 and 2-3 in Northwest Conference play after a 42-19 loss last week at Pacific. George Fox is 4-3 on the year with a 4-1 conference mark. They lost for the first time in conference play last week at Linfield. Pioneers took the timeout. Baggs is the running back. 2nd down and 2 for Lewis and Clark from the George Fox 35. Trailing 19-6. Play action. Montana. Seam route. Diving. Receptions made. Burnham hauled it in at the 6-yard line. Marked down officially at the 8. A 27-yard pickup for Burnham. He's had a very good first half for the Pioneers. 1st and goal, Lewis and Clark. 56 seconds. Clock moves. 19-6, Lewis and Clark trails. Baggs the running back behind Herman the fullback. 2 tight ends, Lopez left, Kraus right, Daffy split out right. 1st and goal from the 8, Lewis and Clark. Montana Fade route, Daffy to the corner. He cannot get to it. Held up in front by Lucas Schwinn. Incomplete pass, 38 seconds left. Daffy's in his first year with the Pioneers out of Germany. Was honored before the game, playing his only season with Lewis and Clark this year. He comes off, Pioneers shift back in. Bodai and Cordova to the left side. Newsom goes right. Lopez stays in as a tight end to the right side as a wing. Beggs is the running back, 2nd and goal. Play action, Montana throws left side, incomplete. En route from Bodai. Can't bring it in around the 3. Montillo had the coverage. 3rd down and goal with 34 seconds left. Pioneers get the play call in from assistant head coach Joe Bushman. Beggs, the left side of the quarterback, Montana. Lopez now on the left side of the formation. 3rd and goal. Montana throws to Newsom on the far side, incomplete. Coverage was supplied by Schwinn. Here comes the Lewis and Clark field goal unit. With 31 seconds left, Pioneers trailing by 13. Alex Koga on to try a 25-yard field goal. 9 of 12 this season. Kick is up and through. Pioneers cut the deficit to 10 points. 25-yard field goal by Koga. That's a significant play, not only for the moment in time. 27 seconds left in the first half. Lewis and Clark trails 19-9. But also, Lewis and Clark sees the 10th field goal made this year by Alex Koga. That's one of the best all-time performances. Good to see everyone who's joining us today on all of our streaming destinations. Not only can you watch the game at lcpioneers.com, but you can also watch on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, and more. Jeff Miller, Hall of Famer, in the crowd. Catherine Kramer checking in as well. Mike Gage watching on YouTube. It's good to see everyone hanging out with us today. Pioneers trail 19-9. .27 seconds left in the opening half. Pioneers receive the football first. Yeah, it ties the record for field goals in a season. The 10th made by Koga. Kickoff by Hayden Moses. Angles toward the far side and goes out of bounds. Pioneers have seen Schmidt, who was running toward that football, return one 85 yards today in this game.
Legal kick out of bounds. The ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
George Fox has the football back. 27 seconds and 2 timeouts. Cassabaum's the running back for Hayden Sean, the quarterback. Snap to Sean, throws left, caught Johnson the third up the far sideline, stays inbounds. In fact, potentially realized he shouldn't and was able to dive to the sideline and get out of bounds with 21 seconds left. Saw Johnson work it up the sideline and kind of cut to the inside before realizing he needed to get out of bounds. Preserves a timeout, gain of 9. Johnson the third, 13 catches coming in today, 6'5", 196 pounds out of Bothell, Washington. He's lined up across Mara's the far side, 3 receivers to the near. 2nd down and 1. Sean throws to the near side, caught. Hawker has it, works to the sideline, out of bounds across into Lewis and Clark territory, and moves it to the 45-yard line. Gain of 11. 16 seconds left for George Fox at the end of the first half. Pioneers have 4 defensive backs in the game. The safeties LeBoy and Ono. The corners Gonzalez on the near side. Far side is Mares. Johnson III lined up to the short side of the field again. 1st and 10 from the Lewis and Clark 45 for George Fox. Sean spins the ball, 3-man rush. Deep ball, near sideline, looking for Johnson III. Gets it, brings it in inbounds near the 5-yard line. A 40-yard gain marked down at the 6. George Fox has 2 timeouts. Clock will wind when the chains are set. 1st and goal. Clock winds, 9 seconds. Clock winds to 5. Now 4, and a timeout finally called for. And Chris Casey, the head coach for George Fox, has his hands outstretched trying to get the officials' attention.
Charge timeout, George Fox.
It looks like George Fox didn't call the timeout to preserve much time. Only 2 seconds left for the Bruins. And now 1 timeout left for the Bruins. In fact, enough time came off the clock that Santoni's coming out for a PAT, or excuse me, for a field goal. I'm surprised that George Fox didn't get that timeout called. With about 9 seconds left on the clock. They had 2 left. Santoni looking for his 3rd made field goal of the game. This one's a 23-yarder, right hash. Kick is up, and it's no good. Jot that down as a moment of time. Missed 23-yard field goal by Santoni, just his 2nd and his 3rd miss of the year. And that was following the 9 seconds remaining on the clock and George Fox not getting the timeout called in time. The game opened up, George Fox deferred. Lewis and Clark got the ball to start, so the Bruins have the right to the football in the second half. We encourage you to come back and join us for more. End of the first half, home finale for Lewis and Clark football from Griswold Stadium, Fred Wilson Field in Portland, Oregon. George Fox Bruins 19, Lewis and Clark Pioneers 9 on Pios Stream.
My favorite spot on campus is like right outside the Dovecote, little benches, and there's flowers growing there, and you can get a little coffee at the Dovecote and sit there.
My favorite spot on campus is definitely the weight room. I get that everybody loves like the gardens or the manor house, but our facilities for athletics here are actually amazing too, and the weight room is definitely my favorite spot.
My favorite spot on campus would either be the glade outside of the athletic facilities or South Campus.
What is my favorite spot on campus? I really like the back porch of the manor house. It looks out on Mount Hood, and on a clear day, it's super beautiful just to sit around with friends.
I'm Casey Jones, and I teach a range of classes
general chemistry, organic chemistry, and also some advanced classes. And I have a research lab that currently I have 4 students working with me as part of the Rogers program. The summer experience is a way to get really deeply involved in the science that is here and be able to start to define what might be what you want to do next. So the brown bag gives our students a chance to explain their research and really show the context and the application of what they're doing to a very broad range of students and faculty.
It's interesting to be able to communicate to other scientists what your work is, and it forces you to learn how to talk about your subject so that not only experts in your field can understand it, but others can understand it as well, which I just believe is a good life skill.
To talk about your research in a way that anybody can understand it really is a valuable experience, and it's something that you don't get a lot of practice for except in these contexts. Because oftentimes you're giving a presentation to a classroom filled with people who know basically the same things that you do. But in a brown bag, you have to be able to explain and provide motivation for everything that you're working on and why it's important and why it's relevant to be studying.
I made it here alive, I made it here alive, I made it. You can see it in my eyes, you can see it in my eyes, I made it. I made it here alive, I made it here alive, I made it. I made it, I made it. I ain't planning, I'm just doing what I can be, yeah.
Hi, I'm Nick Lombardi. Something I've learned at Winterim this year is how to communicate a vision.
My biggest takeaway from Winterim is probably the networking. Getting to talk to everybody, connect with people for the future is one of the most valuable things, and I did Winterim last year, came back for more this year.
I think a way in which my liberal arts education has really helped me and my group formulate our ideas is that concept of critical thinking and having many different backgrounds. Me being an econ major and my 2 group mates being chemistry majors, we really get that well-rounded background, well-rounded ideas.
I think overall it's absolutely worth doing. You find yourself not only being more prepared for, say, well, this next semester, on top of being more prepared for life in general.
My favorite spot on campus is like right outside the Dovecote, little benches and there's flowers growing there and you can get a little coffee at the Dovecote and sit there.
My favorite spot on campus is definitely the weight room. I get that everybody loves like the gardens or the manor house, but our facilities for athletics here are actually amazing too, and the weight room is definitely my favorite spot.
My favorite spot on campus would either be the glade outside of the athletic facilities or South Campus.
What is my favorite spot on campus? I really like the back porch of the manor house. It looks out on Mount Hood, and on a clear day, it's super beautiful just to sit around with friends. I'm Casey Jones, and I teach a range of classes, general chemistry, organic chemistry, and also some advanced classes. And I have a research lab that currently I have 4 students working with me as part of the Rogers program. The summer experience is a way to get really deeply involved in the science that is here and be able to start to define what might be what you want to do next. So the brown bag gives our students a chance to explain their research and really show the context and the application of what they're doing to a very broad range of students and faculty.
It's interesting to be able to communicate to other scientists what your work is, and it forces you to learn how to talk about your subject so that not only experts in your field can understand it, but others can understand that as well, which I just believe is a good life skill.
To talk about your research in a way that anybody can understand it really is a valuable experience, and it's something that you don't get a lot of practice for except in these contexts. Because oftentimes you're giving a presentation to a classroom filled with people who know basically the same things that you do, but in a brown bag, you have to be able to explain and provide motivation for everything that you're working on and why it's important and why it's relevant to be studying.
I made it. I made it here alive. I made it here alive. I made it. You can see it in my eyes. You can see it in my eyes. I made it. I made it here alive. I made it here alive. I made it. I made it. I made it. I ain't planning, I'm just doing what I can be. Yeah.
I'm Nick Lombardi. Something I've learned at Winterim this year is how to communicate a vision.
My biggest takeaway from Winterim is probably the networking. Getting to talk to everybody, connect with people for the future is one of the most valuable things, and I did Winterim last year, came back for more this year.
I think a way in which my liberal arts education has really helped me and my group formulate our ideas is that concept of critical thinking and having many different backgrounds. Me being an econ major and my two group mates being chemistry majors, we really get that well-rounded background, well-rounded ideas.
I think overall it's absolutely worth doing. You find yourself not only being more prepared for, say, well, this next semester, on top of being more prepared for life in general.
My favorite spot on campus is like right outside the Dovecote, little benches, and there's flowers growing there, and you can get a little coffee at the Dovecote and sit there.
My favorite spot on campus is definitely the weight room. I get that everybody loves like the gardens or the manor house, but our facilities for athletics here are actually amazing too, and the weight room is definitely my favorite spot.
My favorite spot on campus would either be the glade outside of the athletic facilities or South Campus.
What is my favorite spot on campus? I really like the back porch of the manor house. It looks out on Mount Hood, and on a clear day, it's super beautiful just to sit around with friends.
I'm Casey Jones, and I teach a range of classes: general chemistry, organic chemistry, and also some advanced classes. And I have a research lab that currently I have 4 students working with me as part of the Rogers program. The summer experience is a way to get really deeply involved in the science that is here and be able to start to define what might be what you want to do next. So the brown bag gives our students a chance to explain their research and really show the context and the application of what they're doing to a very broad range of students and faculty.
It's interesting to be able to communicate to other scientists what your work is, and it forces you to learn how to talk about your subject so that not only experts in your field can understand it, but others can understand it as well, which I just believe is a good life skill.
To talk about your research in a way that anybody can understand it really is a valuable experience, and it's something that you don't get a lot of practice for except in these contexts. Because oftentimes you're giving a presentation to a classroom filled with people who know basically the same things that you do. But in a brown bag, you have to be able to explain and provide motivation for everything that you're working on and why it's important and why it's relevant to be studying.
Halftime in Portland, Lewis and Clark trailing George Fox 19-9. Halftime in the home finale, Lewis and Clark will be at Linfield next week. As a 1:30 kickoff from McMinnville. George Fox will end up hosting Whitworth to to cap off the year. That is a 1 o'clock kickoff in Newburgh. Again, 19-9 our halftime score. Some other scores from Lewis and Clark events yesterday. There was a really cool 2-mile time trials for Lewis and Clark cross country. There's some photos, a little bit of a recap on our website, lcpioneers.com. An exhibition game between St. Martin's and Lewis and Clark for men's basketball yesterday. Talked to Ryan Seibel, one of the seniors for Lewis and Clark men's basketball, said, pretty good game. Second half got away from us just a little bit, but they'll open up the season officially next Friday in Portland. You have Whitworth beating Lewis and Clark 3-1 yesterday in volleyball. The year finale. Wow. Is coming up tonight, 6 o'clock at Whitman. Lewis and Clark volleyball, as they had their senior night very early on this year. Very front-loaded home schedule for the Northwest Conference play for Lewis and Clark volleyball to end the year tonight at Whitman. Earlier today, a 69-61 defeat. Lewis and Clark lost to Northwest in women's basketball. That's the debut for Ann Doris, the new head coach of Lewis and Clark women's basketball. Leading scorers, Eva Richards had 16 in Richards' first collegiate game. Same for Carroll, 10 points on 5 of 5 shooting and 4 rebounds for the Pioneers. Women's soccer, a 3-0 win at Willamette today. The Pioneers are on the verge of setting some records this year, if not already. You have a team that's more conference wins than they've ever had before in women's soccer, and then if Celestia Rifles can get one more goal or break the single-season individual goal-scoring record for Lewis and Clark. Did not have one of the 3, though, earlier today at Willamette. And then Linfield hosted the first Northwest Conference duel today for Lewis and Clark swimming, the debut of Murillo Martin's head coaching tenure for the Pioneers. Lewis and Clark loses both sides of that swim meet. They'll be back in action next week. Tomorrow, women's soccer senior day. Will Rifles break the record? Find out tomorrow on Pios Stream. That's an 11 a.m. start from Griswold Stadium. Lewis and Clark football getting set to take the field yet again. We'll have the second half when we come back to Portland. It's 19-9. George Fox leads Lewis and Clark on Pios Stream.
My favorite spot on campus is right outside the Dovecote, little benches, and there's flowers growing there, and you can get a little coffee at the Dovecote and sit there.
My favorite spot on campus is definitely the weight room. I get that everybody loves the gardens or the manor house, but our facilities for athletics here are actually amazing too, and the weight room is definitely my favorite spot.
My favorite spot on campus would either be the glade outside of the athletic facilities or South Campus.
What is my favorite spot on campus? I really like the back porch of the manor house. It looks out on Mount Hood, and on a clear day, it's super beautiful just to sit around with friends.
Hi, I'm Nick Lombardi. Something I've learned at Winterim this year is how to communicate a vision.
My biggest takeaway from Winterim is probably the networking. Getting to talk to everybody, connect with people for the future is one of the most valuable things, and I did Winterim last year, came back for more this year.
I think a way in which my liberal arts education has really helped me and my group formulate our ideas is that concept of critical thinking and having many different backgrounds, me being an econ major and my two group mates being chemistry majors. We really get that well-rounded background, well-rounded ideas.
I think overall it's absolutely worth doing. You find yourself not only being more prepared for, say, well, this next semester, on top of being more prepared for life in general.
Back in Portland Griswold Stadium, 19-9, George Fox leads Lewis and Clark at the end of the first half, approaching the start of the second half. Thanks for being with us, Ryan Goff, along with our entire Pios Stream crew. The home finale for Lewis and Clark football, and we kind of shift our attention after this to the basketball season. But like I said, tomorrow is senior day for Lewis and Clark women's soccer, so be sure to tune in for that. If you can come to Griswold Stadium for the game, that's even better, but certainly if you're able to watch on Pios Stream, it's an 11 a.m. kickoff for Jim Tersey and the women's soccer program tomorrow here in Portland. Halftime stats: Cruz, Montana, 6 rushes, 44 yards, had a long of 12 to go with 14 to 21 passing, 149 yards, and an interception. That interception was critical because the Pioneers were starting to kind of shift that momentum after the kickoff return by George Fox that had already kind of stalled one opportunity for the Pioneers to do that. I think that was a key moment. You see Cruz, Montana, and the Pioneers getting warmed up for the second half. Montana 14 to 21, 149 yards, no touchdowns, and 1 interception. And that, like I said, sparked George Fox. They scored a 5-yard rushing touchdown by Schmidt. And then the Lewis and Clark ended the half on an Alex Koga 25-yard field goal. Elijah McGee walked past some of the athletic training staff on my way back into Pamplin Sports Center, says Elijah McGee should be okay. Pioneers rusher, running back, 5 carries, 21 yards, and a touchdown. Also have 4 receptions for 33 yards. Ben Byrne, a very good first half for Lewis and Clark. 3 catches, 52 yards. Meanwhile, Ethan Casabon, 8 carries, 51 yards for George Fox. Hayden Sean, 13 of 18 passing, 174 yards, no touchdowns, and no interceptions. First downs, 12-9 in favor of George Fox. Total offense, Lewis and Clark, in fact, 4 yards more than the Bruins so far in this contest. Pioneers come into the game 3-4 on the year. George Fox is 4-3, but 4-1 in Northwest Conference games. Bruins lost last week against Linfield. And that was their only loss in conference. Before that, the Bruins had taken down Pacific Lutheran, Willamette, Puget Sound, and Pacific. They won 4 straight games to begin the Northwest Conference schedule. Beat Pacific 21-14 in the second to last game. That is who the Pioneers played last weekend, lost 42-19 on the road. Lewis and Clark had the ball to begin the game. George Fox had deferred, so Bruins have the right to the football in the second half. Looks like the 2 starting running backs set to return at Casabon and Schmidt. Pioneers put it on the ground. High bouncer to Schmidt, 15-yard line from the far side, works inward on the hash marks far side. Brought down a pair of tacklers for Lewis and Clark. It's Will Powell and Daniel Pham making the tackle. And George Fox and Cascade Christian quarterback Hayden Sean out of Medford, Oregon, go back to work starting the first possession of the second half from their own 32-yard line. 19-9, Lewis and Clark in the third quarter, trailing the Bruins by 10. 3 receivers and a tight end on 1st and 10. Play action throw. Caught. Leon Johnson III makes the reception. Excuse me, that's Adam Hawker making the catch. And quickly a gain of 14 for George Fox on first down. Chad Letko is in at the tight end spot for George Fox. Leon Johnson III is in as well. Ethan Kassabaum is the running back that starts this first possession of the second half. Johnson III, 4 catches, 69 yards, including a 24-yard reception in the first half. Adam Hawker is a senior at Ontario, Oregon, at the top of the screen. Elias Polanski is on the slot near side. 1st and 10 for the George Fox 46. Handoff. Kassabaum steps inside a tackler, gets across midfield, works up the near side numbers, and is tackled at the 41. 13-yard gain by Kassabaum, and George Fox is out and moving to begin the second half. 19-9 lead for the Bruins. Third quarter underway. It's been more sunny than was expected today. It's still cool in the high 40s today. But no rain since the game has started. A lot of rain before the game started, including a pretty significant downpour of about 10 minutes. Right side hash mark, 1st and 10 from the Lewis and Clark 41. Sean the quarterback, Kassabaum's the running back. To Sean's right hip. Fake the handoff. Keeper for the quarterback, Sean, up the hash marks and down at the 35. Nick Shepard's in on the offensive line now for George Fox. Did not start the game. He's playing at the left tackle instead of Daniel Jeffries, who started the game there. Zach Luoro and Brett Schuler still on the right side of the offensive line for George Fox. Dylan Gabriel is in at left guard. Kalen Akayo is in the game as well. That center has played there the whole time. Kassabaum, second level, on second down, sprinting toward the goal line, breaking tackles it in. Cameron Chang couldn't get him near the 7-yard line, and a 35-yard rushing touchdown for Ethan Kassabaum. Scores the first points of the second half. It's 25-9 George Fox. Second rushing touchdown of the game for George Fox, the first for Kassabaum, his 5th of the year. 2 minutes in, it's 25-9, PAT by Jason Santoni. He missed a field goal at the end of the first half. He has missed a PAT, but he makes that one. And it's 26-9. Good drive to open up the second half. 4 plays, 68 yards for the George Fox Bruins. With 13:01 to go third quarter, George Fox 26, Lewis and Clark 9 on Pios Street. George Fox, 4 plays, 68 yards, a minute 54 off the clock, and George Fox leads 26-9 over Lewis and Clark. Pioneers have a 13-yard rushing touchdown by Elijah McGee. Alex Koga's 25-yard field goal. With 27 seconds left in the first half, the Pios only scores a couple of field goals for Santoni. And then Josiah Smith, an 85-yard kickoff return TD, and a 5-yard rushing touchdown in the first half. Kassabaum has the touchdown to open up the third quarter. Here's Desmond Holton for Lewis and Clark on the return. And at the 30-yard line, able to get help push forward near the 34-yard line. Lewis and Clark goes back to work with quarterback Cruz Montana, the junior out of Eureka, California. And Lewis and Clark offense start from the 35-yard line. That's the best starting field position for Lewis and Clark in the game so far. Right to left, black jerseys for Lewis and Clark. Mercury Campagno, senior left tackle, with the sophomore Matt Casson on the left guard. First pass play is caught by Aiden Verba Hamilton. Spun out of bounds at the 41-yard line. Tackle was made by Chris McCoy. Casson, the junior. The center is Michael Lloyd, a freshman, throwing. Montana on second down. There's Elijah McGee back in the game, and he's brought down in the backfield. A loss of 3 on the screenplay. Wyatt Adams, who has an interception in this game, makes the play all the way back to the Lewis and Clark 37. Nathan Lean and the right tackle, 320-pound freshman Alex Sandoval back in the game. 4 receivers, 2 to either side. Verba Hamilton split to the near snap to Montana. Play action throws. Verba Hamilton slips at the 50. The play was open, but it was incomplete because of the wet turf. Coverage by McCoy, and the Pioneers go 3 and out to open the second half. Huxley Richardson comes in to kick for Lewis and Clark. .12:09 to play. Third quarter. Kick is away by Richardson. That's a very good kick. Sends the returner back to the 23-yard line and no running room. Adrian Daffy was there first. Powell, who already has a special teams tackle in this game, there to bring down Justin Montillo, the returner. And George Fox with a 26-9 lead has the ball back. 11:59 left in the third quarter. This drive starts from the 26-yard line. Sean completes 61% of his passes coming into the year, or coming into the game, excuse me, and has been very good today. He's taking care of the football. First down snap, play action. Sean rolls to the right, heaves a ball, out route caught, and brought in at the 35-yard line. The catch is made. River Osen has it, the sophomore from Twin Falls, Idaho. A gain of exactly 10, first down George Fox. Under 12 to play, third quarter with a 26-9 lead. Cassabaum is the running back to the right side of Sean. From the near side hash, Sean quick throw, caught Johnson the third. Gonzalez can't bring him down, and now on second effort, Johnson takes it to the 45-yard line, a 9-yard gain. Pioneers have senior David Seha, Cameron Chang, and Marvin Pusung Zita up on the defensive line, along with sophomore Ramson Paz. Quick snap on 2nd and 1. Sean decides to run, and his sandwich between Seha and Paz dropped back to the 42-yard line, a loss of 3. That's a big third down. End of the first half, George Fox had 9 seconds left. The ball was going to be set and the clock was going to wind. George Fox took a timeout with 2 seconds left. Instead of taking it with 9, field goal was no good. That was a big moment in time. So's this. 3rd and 4 from the George Fox 42. 2 receivers left, tight end right. 2 tight ends right. Snap, handoff. Schmidt bounces left side, has the first down, sprinting up the field, out of an ankle tackle at the 40, 30-yard line, and is brought down at the Lewis and Clark 28-yard line. A 30-yard gain on a big third down, and that sustains the drive for George Fox. Schmitz had a very good game today, came in averaging 4 yards per carry, and is well above that, especially after that 30-yard run. Bruins trying to add to a 26-9 lead with 10:15 to go in the third quarter. First and 10, George Fox from the Lewis and Clark 28. Handoff left side for Schmidt, penalty markers out. And Schmidt goes out of bounds after a modest gain. In fact, there's 2 penalty markers out behind the play. Referee today is Thomas Fischera.
Drop block on the offense. Number 55 and 61. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Chop block penalty, the second of the game against George Fox. Neither team many penalties in the first half. Just the second penalty on George Fox. 10 minutes to play, third quarter. 26-9. That's a big penalty against the Bruins. After the play prior was a 30-yard third down conversion. First and 25. Snap to Sean. Looks right, throws right, low, and caught. 38-yard line of Lewis and Clark. Receptions made by Osen. Second and 20 for George Fox. Pioneers have never beaten the Bruins since they reinstated football entering the 2014 season. 3 receivers left. Dobbins is one of the slot receivers that side. Johnson the third to the right. Hates a snap for Sean. Gets it. Throws flat route left side. Casabom up the far sideline, explodes to the original line of scrimmage. Stopped at the 24-yard line, a pickup of 14. And another big third down for the Lewis and Clark defense. Line to gain appears to be the 18-yard line, a 3rd and 6. Clock winds to 9 minutes to play, third quarter. George Fox, second drive of the third quarter, scored on the first one. Hawker split out to the left side, 3 receivers right. Osen's the middle receiver, Johnson the third, with Casabom the tailback. Sean lobs it out to Casabom, hit as he throws, caught. Casabom up the sideline, first down. Moore squeezes through and gains yardage near the 5-yard line of Lewis and Clark. An 18-yard pickup, knocked out at the 6. DJ Smith part of the effort to get Casabom out of bounds, but George Fox converts another third down. Bruins have been very good converting third downs in this game and now have a 1st and goal. 8th play of the drive, 1st and goal from the Lewis and Clark 6, trying to add to a 26-9 lead with 8 minutes to play in the third. Schmidt with a tight end to either side of the formation. Schmidt, the running back, handoff left side, cuts in, bounces out to the pylon, and he's in. Touchdown, George Fox. Little spurts of momentum throughout the course of this game that George Fox never really jumped onto. And now in the start of the second half, back-to-back scoring drives and a 3-and-out performance forcing Lewis and Clark to punt on its only possession of the second half so far. PAT is through. 7:57 left in the third quarter. George Fox 33, Lewis and Clark 9 on Pios Street. (33-9), George Fox leads Lewis and Clark. 7:57 to go in the third quarter. Big thanks to our Pios Stream crew who brought you all the fall season sports so far this year. One more game to come. Please join us on Sunday, tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific time, as Lewis and Clark host Puget Sound for the Women's Soccer Senior Day on this very same field. Kickoff goes to the near side. Fielded Holton, a freshman returner, bounces out to the right side, grabbed on the shoulder, could not be brought down, then taken out of bounds into the George Fox sideline. Thurman Bibbins, the fourth, gets credit for that tackle. Pioneers start from their own 31, but last possession, Pioneers went 3-and-out. Meanwhile, George Fox scores on a 6-yard Schmidt run. That's his second rushing touchdown and third touchdown overall in this game. 1st and 10 from the 31 for Lewis and Clark. Quarterback is Cruz Montana. Pioneers went 3-and-out to start the second half, their last possession. Elijah McGee steps up to the left hip of Montana. Handoff, McGee has a defender in his face and nowhere to run. Aaron Valenzuela read the play, a loss of 2. Valenzuela, senior out of Oro Valley, Arizona. Pioneers go to 2nd and 12. Aiden Verba Hamilton, Isaac Cordova, and Ben Burnham, the receivers on the near side. Jonathan Newsom split out right. Play action, Montana over the middle, caught Burnham. Has the first down, midfield, spins into George Fox territory, and Burnham's had himself a game. 4th catch for Burnham. 23-yard gain. Pioneers quickly go. First down, McGee goes to the left side. Might have wanted to pass the ball and instead is brought down well back at the Lewis and Clark 43-yard line. Because McGee kept looking to pass, forward progress kept getting reset, and instead of a loss maybe of about 3 or 4, it's taken all the way back to the 43. 2nd down and 19. Montana throws right off Burnham's hands. An incomplete wide receiver screen to the right. It's the same kind of look with Burnham tapping it off of his hands, trying to get it, that led to the interception of the first half by Wyatt Adams, his 2nd of the year. 3rd and long for the Pioneers. 6:33 to play in the 3rd quarter, trailing 33-9. Receiver either side, a pair of them. Montana steps up in the pocket, veers left, throws downfield. Verba Hamilton has the catch at the 36-yard line. A big play for the Pioneers senior for a first down. Lewis and Clark needed 19. They pick up 20. Big 3rd down conversion. Pioneers snap it quickly, rolling right. Montana sets, throws, far side, tipped up in the air, and it's picked off nearly by Adams again. At the last second, it popped out, and Adams couldn't bring it in. Schwinn was the one who tapped it up in the air, covering Newsom on the far side. Adams nearly had his 2nd interception of the game. 2nd and 10, Lewis and Clark. George Fox trying to make a late substitution, and Montana wanted to snap the ball to try to get 12 men on the field, and instead it's going to be a false start against the Pioneers and the legal procedure call because they can't snap it. The umpire was allowing the George Fox substitution to happen because Lewis and Clark had shifted personnel.
There is no flag on the play. We were in substitution mechanics, meaning we cannot snap the ball. 2nd down.
Excuse me, that was my assumption that would be a penalty. Instead, it's just a no snap. 2nd and 10. Umpire still hovering over the football.
Ball's marked at the first.
All right, 2nd down and 10. They wind the clock. 5:41 to play in the 3rd quarter. 33-9. Lewis and Clark trailing George Fox. Pioneers' 2nd possession of the 3rd quarter. They've been moving the football. Montana sidesteps, has a man on his right side, almost lost the ball, able to bring it back in, but he's sacked back at the 39-yard line. Kyle Brabeck nearly stripped the ball clean of Montana. Still gets credit for a sack. There's a penalty marker down at the 39, closer to the middle of the field.
Offense, number 76. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. 2nd down.
So Pioneers called for holding, preserve the down. It'll be 2nd and long instead of about a 3rd and 12. 2nd and 20 from the 47-yard line. Watch Verba Hamilton, lone receiver to the bottom of the formation, and a big 3rd down conversion on this drive. Handoff McGee goes around the right side, trying to get the edge. Just not much running room. Big hit by Adams, and a nice job defensively by Justin Montillo, kind of keeping McGee running laterally instead of getting upfield. Picks up a gain of 2. And credit McGee for getting a hard-fought gain of 2. 3rd down and 18. Montana quickly blitz from the Bruins. Montana gets away from Braybeck once, can't get away from him again, stacked up back at the 48-yard line. First time Montana's been officially sacked in this game, but there's been a lot of pressure even on potential running plays by Montana. The Pioneers send out the punt unit with 4th and 21 facing them at the George Fox 48. Montillo back to return the kick at the George Fox 14. Bad snap, it skips, ball still free, and Richardson may have been able to recover it. It really doesn't matter. Either way, it's George Fox football. It appears to be Nick Salazar or Austin Brokamp coming out with the football, probably Brokamp, the junior. Pioneers with a bad snap on the punt, and the football goes back to George Fox. .4:14 to go, third quarter. George Fox has scored on 2 possessions in this half, and they start at the Lewis and Clark 30-yard line. Left to right, white unis, matte blue helmets, snap, play action. Sean goes deep, has a man, and just too far out in front of Dobbins, who is running up the near side numbers. Squeeze between the coverage of Gonzalez and Ono, incomplete, 2nd down and 10. Pioneers had forced 2 field goals on pretty good first quarter drives by George Fox, limited the Bruins lead to 6-0 through the first 13 minutes of this game. Pioneers tied things up on an Elijah McGee run, but since George Fox has really had control of the game, including 2 scoring drives in the second half. Stumbling down, Kassabaum loses footing and gains just 1 on 2nd and 10, brings up 3rd and 9. Again, the field very wet because of all the rain before the game started. Can Lewis and Clark get a stop on 3rd down? They've been few and far between today. Hawker, Polanski, and Dobbins to the left. Johnson the third to the right. 3rd and 9. Lewis and Clark 29-yard line. Sean the quarterback. Pressure from his right, and he's brought down. The Pioneers blitz works. Sack back at the 33-yard line. Pham, Hensley, Bushman, and Chang all supplied pressure for Lewis and Clark. The Pioneers get the sack back to the 33-yard line. Bruins bring out the punter, Jason Santoni. Santoni's first kick went 48 yards. Verba Hamilton late, but gets onto the field to return for the Pios. High snap, Santoni has it angled up and down, kicks it away. And near the 1-yard line, it was brought in, but then the person who downed it went across the goal line. And it's a touchback. The play was made, I believe, by Lucas Schwinn. Had it at the 1-yard line, but then carried the ball into the end zone. So instead of Lewis and Clark being pinned at the 1, it appears to be coming back out.
Illegal touching by the kicking team in the end zone. The ball we placed at the 20-yard line. First down.
So Lewis and Clark starts from the 20-yard line on the touchback. Could that be a break that helps spark the Pioneers, trailing 33-9 with 2:35 to go in the third quarter? Cruz Montana in at quarterback. Pioneers start from their own 20. Field position, we mentioned, would be a story. Momentum, certainly a story in this game too, but the Pioneers, the last time these two teams met, had a field position disparity of their own 20 versus George Fox's own 42, and that's very similar to the way today has gone. Pioneers starting behind their own 30-yard line nearly every drive except for the first 2 of this half. That first down pass from the 20 caught by Newsom. Gain of 5 on first down. Pioneers have gone 3 and out with a punt in this half, and then a pretty good drive last time out, but it ended with a bad snap on a punt attempt. George Fox had good field position. Play action Montana, and he's hit through the middle. Brought down back at the 20-yard line. That's Josh Poppleton. The Pioneers have been giving up more sacks, more pressure on Montana in the second half with a 33-9 deficit. Lewis and Clark came into today 7th in the 18 Northwest Conference in sacks allowed. 3rd and 10 for Lewis and Clark. Pioneers' own 20-yard line. Snap by Montana. Looks to his left, spins out of a defender, throws to the left. Verba Hamilton has it, 35-yard line. Steps around Smith and gains an additional yard or 2. Brought down at the 36-yard line. Tackle made by Kobe Andrews. First down, Lewis and Clark. Nice pass, Montana to Verba Hamilton. Hamilton, one of 17 seniors for Lewis and Clark. Quick snap, 1st and 10. 36-yard line. Montana had the ball high over his head, got away from Passion, but can't get away from them all. And it's brought down by James. Back at the 33-yard line. Loss of 3. 33-9, Lewis and Clark trailing with 1:05 left in the third. Mounting pressure against Montana in the pocket. McGee, the running back to the left, pair of receivers either side. Snap to Montana, pulls it away from McGee, runs through the middle, there's lots of space. 40-yard line, slides down, maybe shy by about a yard of the first down. To the 45-yard line, a gain of 12. Pioneers face a 3rd and 1 with 38 seconds left. Third quarter. Pioneers go to the big package. Marcelo Lopez, left side tight end. Aaron Kraus, the right side tight end. The fullback Logan Herman leading the way for McGee. Pioneers, a quarterback, sneaked out of this formation for a first down earlier in the game. 3rd and 1. McGee handoff right side, got the edge and goes to the midfield mark. Sidesteps a tackler and into George Fox territory, 40-yard line. And down to the 39. 26-yard gain for McGee with 9 seconds left in the third quarter. Pioneers at the line, 1 second, cannot get the snap off in time. The third quarter is over from Portland. Lewis and Clark, big 3rd down conversion. McGee, one of the biggest runs of the game, one of the most positive offensive plays of the game for the Pioneers. And when we come back, it's the 4th quarter from Griswold Stadium, Fred Wilson Field in Portland, Oregon. George Fox Bruins 33, Lewis and Clark Pioneers 9 on Pios Street. Start of the 4th quarter in Portland. Lewis and Clark trailing George Fox 33-9. Pioneers have been sacked 3 times, most of those, if not all of them, in the second half. A 1st and 10 trailing 33-9 to open up the 4th quarter after a key 3rd down conversion. Pioneers left to right with Jonathan Newsom and Ben Burnham, the receivers, to the right side. Isaac Cordova and Aiden Verba Hamilton, the receivers, to the left. Ball on the right side hash mark from the George Fox 39. Snap to Montana. Handoff McGee. Works through the interior. Whisks forward for a gain to the 34-yard line, a pickup of 5. McGee has been the primary tailback for Lewis and Clark the last 3 games. Came into the year as one of the team's leading receivers. Still is. Play action, double move, throw to Verba Hamilton. The route is jumped and it's intercepted at the 20, picked off by McCoy. Up the far side numbers, and Montana throws his second interception of the day, a penalty marker out on the end of the play.
Is an interception by George Fox. Sideline warning to George Fox.
First down for George Fox after the sideline warning. And Sean goes to the right side, threw it behind Johnson III, and Mares can't come up with an opportunity. Incomplete near midfield. $33-9 the deficit facing Lewis and Clark, 14:30 to go in the fourth quarter. Play action, Sean throws, Hawker on the run, caught from the left side, works in the middle of the field, and is into Lewis and Clark territory, about the 48-yard line. LeBoy in on the tackle. LeBoy, one of 17 seniors as well. This whole secondary made up of seniors, and not just a situation where you have seniors playing on senior day, but this is a group that's been there the majority of the year. A 33-yard interception earlier in a game in Portland for Gonzalez. Gonzalez has 2 picks on the year. LeBoy had an 86-yard touchdown return against Puget Sound on this field just a couple of games ago. 1st and 10 snap for George Fox. Schmidt works the right side and through the middle, brought down by Meinhardt, the 41 of Lewis and Clark, a pickup of about 7. And there's Cameron Chang, who's going to be one of the best modern era defenders for Lewis and Clark. Chang came into today, 15 career sacks. He was second in the Northwest Conference in sacks during his all-region season back in 2019. Second down snap to George Fox. Schmidt goes right side, stiff arms Jordan Fajardo. LeBoy, though, chases Schmidt down back near the 50. So Fajardo does not get credit for the play in the stats, but Fajardo was the one who cut off that edge and gave LeBoy the opportunity for the tackle for loss back to the 49-yard line. 3rd down and 11 for George Fox. Cameron Chang, right side defensive end. Pioneers have 3 down linemen on 3rd and 11. Sean goes to the near side and Chang's there to meet him. Almost on cue, Chang gets the sack back to the George Fox 42-yard line. Kusang Zita was around it as well. Pioneers force a punt with 12:20 left in the fourth quarter. Chang has had an impact since his freshman season. It's all-conference honorable mention in 2018, freshman of the year back in 2017. Santoni to kick it away for George Fox. High kick, Aiden Verba Hamilton has it, caught it at his waist at the 20, worked backwards, and just can't get any space to work upfield. Loses about 3 on the return. Lewis and Clark has the football back. Cruz Montana's on the sideline. Pioneers bring out Trey Morris. Trey Morris is the quarterback. Morris in his sophomore year out of Seattle, Rainier Beach High School. Morris, 6 of 13 this year for 63 yards. 1st and 10, Lewis and Clark from the 17, trailing 33-9. And Morris keeps it through the middle, works the right side, quick gain up to the 23-yard line, pickup of 6. Under 12 to play in the 4th quarter. Carter Baggs is back in as well, a freshman out of Boring, Oregon. Quick snap to Morris, out route, caught by Verba Hamilton, hit at the 25-yard line. Another short gain for the Pioneers, Schwinn on the hit. 3rd down and 1. Pioneers bring in the 3 tight end plus fullback package for a 3rd and 1. Pioneers have been good out of this package today, converting. McGee comes back into the game, replacing Baggs. 3rd down and 1, Lewis and Clark. Morris under center. Pitch play left, McGee. Big hole cut inside of a linebacker. Able to pick up 2. Tackle is made by Valenzuela. Sidestep Poppleton on his way through for a 1st down gain. 33-9, Lewis and Clark trailing, 10:40 to play in the 4th quarter. 2 touchdowns on the opening 2 possessions for George Fox. Move this game from a 19-9 halftime score to where we are now. Snap to Morris, the quarterback. First series for Morris. Throw over the middle. Caught. Keegan Hawley has it across the 40. Into the far side hash marks. Brought down by Montijo, but not until a pick up to the 46-yard line. 1st down, Lewis and Clark. Devin Guest, the lone receiver to the top, 3 receivers right. McGee, the running back, for Morris, the quarterback. Motions McGee out to the right, and Morris keeps it. Space to the left, pointing out blockers. Gets around the left side, stumbles, stays on his feet, and to the 33 of George Fox. 21-yard gain for Morris on the run. First and 10. George Fox, 33-yard line. Pios trailing by 24. Throw a screen caught by Guest from the far numbers to the far hash, and Guest picks up good yardage on 1st down. Maybe 6. Guest last week against Pacific had 4 catches, has had 10 in his last 2 games he's played. Pioneers kind of missed him for a stretch of about 2. One of the 2 receivers left. Snap to Morris. Another quarterback keeper. And this time, not much running room. Squeezes and gets to the 25-yard line for 2 more. Pioneers face a 2nd and 4 to a 3rd and 2 now. And back to the 2 tight end fullback package. Daffy's been used split out to each side. When Lopez was unavailable last couple of games, Daffy was tight to the line and said split to the left. Herman the fullback. Morris under center. Pitch left again. McGee, good space. Nice block by Lopez. Penalty markers out. McGee has a gain of 4. For a moment, at least has a 1st down. Clock stops at 8:42 to play in the 4th.
Offense, number 80. 10-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Officials call it too good of a block for Lopez. I thought he had it sealed. Instead, it's called for a hold. So the Pioneers do not get the 1st down. And instead, a spot foul will move the Pioneers back to a 3rd and long. 33-9. Lewis and Clark. Trailing George Fox. 8:42 left in the 4th. Snap. Morris spins out of a defender, throws down the left side, tipped up and incomplete. Guest was the closest receiver to it. Morris looked like he was just throwing it away, and it was tipped away by Cross Knoll. 4th down and 11. Fourth down and 11. 5 receiver set for Morris on his first series at quarterback. 10th play of the drive. Morris throws, looking for Holly, and out of his reach, too high. Penalty markers out. Thrown on the near side by the linesman. (33-9) Lewis and Clark trailing with 8:27 to play in the fourth quarter.
Defensive hold.
The call was defensive holding against George Fox. Pioneers get a first down. Just a yard short. 4th down and 1. No, I was going to say, it's an automatic first down. But the chains weren't being moved, and now they finally do. Play clock has not started yet. Pioneers had started to send out the tight ends. Looked like the offensive play calling team thought the same thing as me, is why are we in a 4th down situation, but we have to go with it. So they finally corrected 1st and 10 from the 24. Morris the snap for Lewis and Clark. Throws left. Nice play. Caught by Lopez. Has running room. And then is twisting, trying to weave through toward the 15-yard line. Brought down after a gain of 8.
Injury timeout. Timeout for an injury.
There's an injured George Fox player at the very top by the 10-yard line at the tail end of that play. Stops the clock with 8:13 to go in the fourth quarter. Lewis and Clark driving. Has not scored in the second half. Trailing George Fox 33-9 with 8:13 left in the fourth quarter. We'll identify the George Fox player as soon as possible. Morris has come in on this drive for Lewis and Clark, replacing Cruz Montana. He's had 2 interceptions in the game. And so far, Morris has thrown 3 completions on 4 tries for 26 yards, but has also picked up a good amount of rushing yardage as well. Injured Bruins player is Jaron Marks. Walks off without assistance. 2nd down for Lewis and Clark. 2nd and 1. At the George Fox 16-yard line. Verba Hamilton has played only in the second half. Has 4 receptions for 44 yards. The receiver split out to the right side. Cordova's the slot receiver. Lopez tight end left with Guest. Handoff that direction gives to McGee. First down easily on the far sideline. Pushed out at the 9. A gain of 7 for McGee. Lewis and Clark now has 1st and goal. Trailing 33-9. Pioneers points. A 13-yard run by McGee. A 23-yard field goal by Koga. McGee tries that same side again. 5-yard line. And the gap closed quickly by Smith. 5th-year defensive back makes the tackle near the 4. Pioneers had Deontay Navarrete with 390 yards and 6 touchdowns through the first 3 or 4 games. Navarrete got injured. Pioneers don't have a ton of depth at running back. They turned to McGee and converted the wide receiver to their primary tailback, making his 3rd start today. 2nd and goal from the 4, deep back behind Herman, the fullback. Morris hands off. McGee squeezes left side. He's able to plunge forward for a gain of 3. Maybe more of a gain of 1. I thought he got more than that. 3rd down and goal from the 3-yard line for Lewis and Clark, and McGee comes out of the game. Pioneers split Daffy out to the right. Carter Beggs is the deep back now on 3rd and goal. Lopez left tight end, Kraus the right side tight end. Morris, play action, rolling. Look in the back of the end zone, throws near side, and it's on the ground in front of Daffy, incomplete. 4th down for Lewis and Clark. Clock to 6:30 to play in the fourth quarter. Lewis and Clark trailing 33-9.
Timeout. The play clock did not reset.
Pioneers did not use a timeout. They reset it because of the play clock. They get 25 back on the play clock for Lewis and Clark. Beggs to the right side of Morris. Daffy's a tight end in a triangular pattern with Lopez and Guest on the right side, tight to the formation. Beggs motions out. 4th and goal. Morris throws. End zone, tipped and picked off. It went in the arms of George Fox. Up the other way. Poppleton has it, midfield. Has 2 blockers slowing things down, and it's a 100-yard interception return for George Fox. Poppleton intercepted it on a tipped pass. It might have been tipped multiple times and returned it goal line to goal line. And George Fox has its 3rd touchdown in the second half. PAT attempt. It's up and through. George Fox leads 40-9. What a tough break for the Lewis and Clark Pioneers. Morris was trying to squeeze it in. The receiver had a chance at it. There was a lot of coverage. Morris was just trying to muscle it in, and then the bad break came on the tipped pass. That's the second tipped pass that's led to an interception today. Pioneers have thrown 3. 6:14 left in the fourth, and George Fox has a 40-9 lead. .6:14 remaining in the fourth quarter. George Fox leading 40-9. Poppleton with the goal line to goal line interception return. Here's Newsom from the 5 for Lewis and Clark returning the kick. And Newsom is brought down just past the 20-yard line. Lewis and Clark will go back to work. Pioneers have used Trey Morris on the last possession. Morris had a very good drive. On 4th and goal, tried to muscle a pass in to a tight window, was intercepted. And I should know, I know that you can't have more than a 100-yard return. But I just don't know if that goes down as a 100-yard return or 99. But it was a great play by the 5th-year linebacker, Josh Poppleton. Pioneers do not have Nathan Lean in at right guard. Instead, Donovan Lefebvre comes in. First and 10, Lewis and Clark. Snap to Morris, throw. Burnham has it. Keegan Hawley's trying to set a block on the screen play. Picks up yardage to the 26-yard line with 6 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. George Fox 40 and Lewis and Clark 9. Snap to Morris. Throws left side, receiver fell down. Was looking for Bodai. Again, the field's wet. We've seen 2 plays today in a similar fashion. Verba Hamilton fell down trying to come back for a ball early second half that would have given Lewis and Clark a first down. But it has not been raining. It's just starting to get cooler. Probably has dipped below 40. More cloud cover than we had in the first half. Morris the snap on 3rd down and 6. Pressure from his left. Ball came free at the end. Looking for a recovery. And George Fox has it. The ball was knocked free by Brabeck. Recovery was made by Bennett. And Lewis and Clark has a 4th giveaway in this contest. Cruz Montana, a pair of interceptions. Morris with that interception on the last possession. The Pioneers fumble for the 2nd time today, first time they've lost it. First and 10, George Fox, and they bring in a new quarterback. Austin Davis is out there. Out of Corbett, Oregon, played at Barlow High School. He's only thrown 4 passes this year. First down handoff is given to Fano Atelli. Senior running back has a loss of 1. Pioneers go with Pusung Zita up front. Now Will Powell comes in for the Pioneers. Alex Hensley is off, the senior linebacker. Nico Lang and Seha across the defensive front for the Pioneers. Lewis and Clark also brings in Connor Hilberg, the freshman, at linebacker as well. 2nd down and 12, clock under 5 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. Snap, left side, Atelli gains about 3 yards, keeps pushing the pile forward, and falls ahead to the 18-yard line. LeBoy Ono still out there with Gonzalez and Mars at the corners. Logan Herman with Powell and Hilberg at the linebacker spots. They also have Daniel Pham on the field. Lewis and Clark with Randy Heath in his first year as a defensive coordinator for Lewis and Clark. 3rd down and 9 for George Fox. The 40-9 lead. Started this drive after a turnover. Isaiah Ingram split to the top of the screen for George Fox. Handoff through the middle. The give is to Logan Candenoza. The Prosser Washington sophomore has a gain of maybe nothing. In fact, lost a yard. So 4th down and 10 for George Fox. 3:30 remaining in the 4th quarter. Bruins with a 40-9 lead, trying to improve to 5-1 on the year. Jaden Bolabol to the left side of the formation, the lone receiver there. And penalty markers out before the snap on 4th and 10.
Number 60.
Procedure penalty.
False start called against the Bruins. Bruins have Jaron Abel Nakashima as their center right now. Go to 4th and 15, immediately back to the line of scrimmage. Slot receiver to the right side is Gabe Foster, a freshman out of Beaverton, Oregon. Handoff, space, Candenoza. Near a first down, but will not pick it up. Set about a 13-yard gain short of the first down on 4th down, and George Fox turns it over. With 3:10 left in the 4th quarter, Pioneers have possession. Trailing 40-9. Pioneers scored in the first half. A touchdown run by Elijah McGee tied the game at 6 apiece. Pioneers had a botched snap on the PAT attempt. Isaac Cordova could not get the ball into the end zone for a 2-point try. And Alex Koga had a 25-yard field goal. Only points for Lewis and Clark in the game. George Fox has scored 3 times in the second half. Trey Morris, the quarterback, 1st and 10. Keeper. Pioneers sophomore runner through the middle and gets it to the 19-yard line, a pickup of 6. A 35-yard touchdown run by Ethan Casabon. 6-yard touchdown run by Josiah Smith. And then the Josh Poppleton end zone to end zone interception return. The scores for George Fox in the second half. Morris able to pick up a first down to the 24-yard line with 2:38 left in the fourth quarter. Pioneers will close the year at Linfield next weekend. Pioneers had a pretty similar season to this point as they did back in 2019, their last year competing. Tony Rangel's in the game, goes to the left side, throwback to the right to Guest. And a good first down pickup to the 32-yard line for the Pioneers transfer from Occidental, Devin Guest. Lewis and Clark had its first 4-win season since 2011, back in 2019. And this year, had they not trailed Pacific Lutheran 35-10 at one point. Nice pass to Burnham, just short, incomplete, brings up third down. They'd fallen behind in the home conference opener to Pacific Lutheran 35-10. Lewis and Clark lost that game 38-37. So had they won that game, it would have been their second straight win over the Lutes. Pioneers did beat Willamette and Puget Sound like they did back in 2019. Third down and 2. Morris pulls it back. Quarterback keeper to the left, trying to get the corner. At the very last moment, stumbles ahead, has it. First down with 1:49 left in the fourth. We'll see what happens against Linfield. The conference-leading Wildcats host Lewis and Clark next weekend. Pioneers trailing 40-9 in this game. Morris in the pocket, throws left, and Rangel can't bring it in. Coverage down by Stanley Shoppy. Out of Tigard, Oregon. Please join us again tomorrow. Women's soccer on Pios Stream starts at 11 a.m. It's Senior Day against Puget Sound. Morris, defender in his face, throws. Popped up in the air, and this one's incomplete. Burnham, the intended receiver near the 47 of George Fox. Brings up 3rd and 10 for Lewis and Clark with 1:27 left. Snap, Morris rolls right, throws. Burnham's open, 40-yard line, has the catch. Is able to maneuver for an additional 3 yards, shy of the first down by 2. Burnham's had a very good game. In fact, the last 2 games, Burnham's been pretty impressive. One of the first-year targets for the Pioneers. Sophomore academic season, but Lewis and Clark didn't have that competition season last year. Burnham could be a pretty good returner for the Pioneers. There's a snap to Morris. Runs through the middle, has enough for the first down. Up to the 47-yard line. Yeah, Keegan Hawley, the slot receiver to the far side, is the only senior at the skill positions on the field right now, and even the left tackle for the Pioneers is no longer Mercury Campagno, it's Max Atchinson. Pass is batted down, intended for Newsom on the near side. 35 seconds left. Lefebvre's now at the left guard position. Pioneers also brought in Martin Reyes, the freshman out of Sacramento, to play right guard. Here's a snap on 2nd and 10. Morris, deep ball, near sideline, looking for Bodai, trying to adjust on it, couldn't get away. Made the catch, but was out of bounds. 29 seconds left. Abe Flores, the defensive back, in coverage. Right side tackle for Lewis and Clark is now Lean, who had left the game earlier from the right guard spot. Snap to Morris, 3rd and 10. Screen play, Rangel has it, works in the middle of the field, caught from behind. And to the George Fox 48-yard line. Jaden Hornsby makes the tackle. Clock winds to 15 seconds left. And Lewis and Clark uses a timeout with 12 seconds left, trailing 40-9. 4th down and 5.
First charge timeout, Lewis and Clark.
It's been a lot of fun. It opened up with 17 seniors recognized at the beginning of the game. That was a very fun moment from today's coverage. Great job again, Lily Moffitt, our director, and all the Pios Stream crew covering every single aspect of the game today. We were on the air about 20 minutes earlier than normal to cover the senior accompaniment, families and friends going out onto the field with their senior Lewis and Clark student athletes tomorrow, senior day for women's soccer. And we'll turn our attention to some of the winter sports. Women's basketball and swimming already underway. Men's basketball debuts on Friday. 4th down. Morris throws over the middle. Nice adjustment. Catch is made. That's Holton. Pioneers get the ball to the 13-yard line. Now with 5 seconds left, Alex Koga is 1 field goal away from breaking the all-time record. He had a field goal earlier in this game to tie it for single-season made field goals. Pioneers take the timeout with 5 seconds left. It'll be a 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line after the big reception made by Holton in traffic, too. Nice catch by Holton. Pioneers keep Koga on the sideline. Pioneers go with Holly and Holton to the left side. Right side, Guest outside of Burnham. Running back is Rangel, 1st and 10. Morris throws end zone, and it's intercepted. Abe Flores makes the pick as time expires and ends the game on an INT. Lewis and Clark falls by a final score of 40-9. And that completes the final home game of the 2021 season for Lewis and Clark. Pioneers tick down to 3-5 on the year, 2-4 in conference play. George Fox now 5-3 overall and 5-1 in conference play. Pioneers will host no more games this season. Travel to Linfield next week to wrap up the year against the Wildcats. Whitworth, the home opponent for George Fox. Whitworth at George Fox next week to round out the 2021 season for the Bruins. For everyone who made it possible, big shout out again to Lily Moffitt and the entire Pios Stream crew, and to Claudia Lober, Athletic Communications lead for today's game. I am Ryan Goff. Thanks so much for being with us from Fred Wilson Field, Griswold Stadium in Portland, Oregon. The final score, George Fox Bruins 40, Lewis and Clark Pioneers 9. We'll see you again tomorrow for women's soccer, and until then, thanks for tuning in wherever you may be. This has been a presentation of Pios Stream. Goodbye, everybody.